big has gone through what you're going to go through. There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts to the top.
I really believe the dream rests in one word only, and it's freedom.
All right.
Woo! So great to be with y'all today. We are so excited to be a part of this third Gforce Leadership Summit. We are all across the country, all across Canada, all across the United States with more homes and more offices than ever before. We are so excited. We have an amazing lineup for y'all today. Awesome speakers. You will not be disappointed. You need to stay here to the very end. You do not want to miss anything. And at the very, very end, we have something special. We've got our attendance trophy, and if you leave early, you're not going to know who wins it. So that is so important. You need to stay here. You do not want to miss anything that you're going to hear from these amazing leaders today, right, Randy?
Yeah, Marce, thank you so much. This is, like Marcy said, I think this is our third big international webinar. So we got people from all over the United States, all over Canada. We want to welcome all of you. But you know, the people that we want to welcome more than anything is our brand new teammates. I mean, folks, you know, we've recruited and licensed a ton of people since our last webinar in February. And hopefully this is, many of you, this is your first time that you've been involved in a Gforce International Leadership Summit. And so this virtual summit is really one of the most unusual things we do. We have well over 2,000 people. We had watching right now, and we got people watching on devices. We got people gathering together in offices again, you know, ready to celebrate. And so this is going to be a very unique time. And like I've told you before, especially you new folks, I want you to focus more than you ever have before for the next 210 minutes, okay? I mean, Marcy, we got speakers that are off the charts, right? And I want you to rally your team, get people on the devices, get people in the offices, because we're starting out right away with recognition. Then we got the great Reggie Reed, and following Reggie, we're bringing on from California now, we got the great Neil and Victoria Gurfein, $2 million earners. So we've got things happening big time right in the beginning. So rally your people. This is going to be a moment in time for you that has the ability to radically alter your life. Do not miss a minute. If you got to go to the bathroom, you better make it quick, right? Because you might
Take your
miss
device
something.
with you.
Well, they might. We've been in meetings before, Marsh, right, where something was said.
Yeah.
Take the device. Just don't. Yeah. So. But something was said, something, you know, moment was happening, you know,
take long.
that resonates in you, and it changes and alters the rest of your life. And I'll promise you, when you're involved in this vehicle that we're proud to call Primerica, man, if your life gets transformed in this vehicle, we're talking about a transformation, Marcy, that lasts generations, right? We've been able to enjoy that.
It's a shiny red Ferrari.
Oh, yeah, it really is. It really is. So with that said, we got 12 speakers today. We've narrowed it down to 12 speakers. So you got Neil and Victoria, and then we got 10 other speakers, our leaders from Gforce International. Needless to say, we're going to have $4 million earners speaking to you today. And then we selected the speakers by very simple formula, but very high standards. First of all, we are going to recognize 4 different categories today. 4 different categories. Top 25 in recruiting, top 25 in premium, top 25 in securities, and top 25 in cash flow in the RVP and up category and the future RVP category. That's going to be a total, Marcy, of 200 people
we recognize,
that are going to be recognized today. We got that scattered all throughout the broadcast. And you don't want to miss it, especially you new people. You're going to hear a lot of acronyms, I think that's the right word, called RVP, SVP, NSD, SNSD, FNA, whatever, right? And pay attention. Those are those regional vice presidents, senior vice presidents, national sales directors, senior national sales directors. You want to know what that is, because that's your future right there. And so get used to all that today too. But we're going to be recognizing the thing that we do better than any company around is we recognize our people for a job well done. And these speakers are speaking to you. They had to place in the top 25 at least 3 out of the 4 categories. We actually have one speaker that placed in all 4 categories. So they are on their game. They run a balanced play out there, and they're going to be talking for 10 minutes each, 15 minutes each, and we got, of course, the Gurfein's going for 45 minutes, so you better get ready like never before, okay?
And
so,
if they've never heard Neil Gurfein, he can fit 90 minutes into 45
I'm
minutes.
just telling you, yeah. If you ever heard Neil from the stage, we've had a chance to, of course, listen to him in conventions. We've had a chance to listen to him in Fast Start Schools here in Atlanta, folks. Brand new $2 million earners, so you better get ready and get your notepad out. And Marcy, I can't think of a better way to start this broadcast of ours than to start it with recognition.
Absolutely.
Right? And what I want to do before we get going is I want to explain a little bit deeper on how just powerful competition and recognition is. You know, a lot of people, you come out of jobs in the corporate realm, and you're probably not used to this. Matter of fact, most of you out there, if you're part-time with us, the only time you ever get recognized at your job, you know, unfortunately, is when you screw up, right? And if you do a good job, well, that's what you get paid to do. Here, when you come on board this environment, okay, you're going to be in business for yourself. But we believe that healthy competition serves as a measuring stick for your personal growth. And it also provides for you evidence. You're surrounded by the evidence of people just like you, started just like you, had the same fears you had, right? And they conquered them, and they're playing at a high level. And the biggest thing that always helped me with this is I used to always look at the people that would get recognized and they're top of the leaders' bulletins out there. And I used to look at them and study them, and I said, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. And you know, you might not be recognized today, but I want you to soak it in because it is a very unusual thing in business. And I want you to soak it in big time. Why? Because this could be you at our next summit. It could be you competing. And if you compete at these standards, and they had to have high standards to get recognized, folks, that means you get better. That means you have evidence and hope surrounding you to know if they can do it, you can do it. And we're always going to be praising our leaders out there. That's how you build people. That's how you build a company that will stand the test of time. And so we're going to be doing a lot of that today. We're going to go in fast, but I want you to understand what's happening, whether you're on that list or not. You know, we're on YouTube now, and we got people that you do those comments on YouTube, right? Yeah. I guess they all know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. But the best form, since we're not in a live environment, we can clap and cheer all our winners. Man, what you could be doing is high-fiving or congratulate people you know that made that list. You post your comments on there, encourage them, congratulate them in that way, and that'll be awesome too. So, Marcy, I think it's time.
It's time to get
for
started.
us to get started with recognition, and this is in the recruiting category. We always put this first, folks, because recruiting and licensing is the absolute foundation of everything we do organizationally. Without a new recruit, without new people coming on board, you don't have momentum and you won't have growth. So that's the foundation of everything we do. If you want to get momentum going, momentum is directly related to how many brand new recruits you're bringing on your team on a weekly basis. And so that's why this is critical, and we're going to start with our new recruiters. So Marcy, why don't you take it away? And this is going to be our future RVPs,
Future
right?
RVPs.
All right, here we go.
Anybody below, and some of these are brand new in the business almost. That's amazing.
Brand new even since probably last
absolutely,
February, right?
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
Hear it. Let's hear it.
So
Let's
number
go.
25 in our top 25 base shop recruits future RVP category, Lametrius Sanders. Number 24, Anthony and Mayra Gayton. Number 23, Kyle and Stella Crow. Number 22, Ashley Trejo. Number 21, Barbara and Charles Intamoa. Number 20, Teresa and Joey Cantu. 19, James Sherrod II.
Yeah.
Number 18, Sandra Perez. Number 17, Marsha Limbrick. Number 16, Daniel and Jessica Gentry. 15, Shaniqua Sampay. 14, Charlotte and Everett Asher. 13, James and Sarah Hernandez. Number 12, Diane Houston. Number 11, Ella Webster and Candace Jones.
Man, and listen, I want to remind a lot of you up there too, out there that in order to, oh man, I had it in my head and I just totally forgot.
That's where they started
But
the
anyway,
contest.
yes, thank you. You read my mind, girl. That's why I need you.
Takes two brains at this stage in
So
life.
yeah, so there's some people on this that actually started the contest as future RVPs that are now regional vice presidents. And so you compete where you started in February. Thank you, dear. You know my brain.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so with that said, too, I want you to pay attention to what it takes, because next time we do this, you'll have a marker in your brain to shoot for. Well, in order to make it in the top 25 to even be considered for it, you had to have a minimum of 22 recruits. Even to be considered in the top 25 below RVP, okay? And so I'd be shooting for that in the next, per month. What do you got to do, right? Maybe it might be 25, 30 people to get in because we're growing, but that's a good marker for you to remember. And then to get in the top 10, we're about to announce them right now. Number 10 had to have at least 44 recruits in the last 90 days to even make it here, okay? And many of these people you might be hearing about are already RVPs at this point in time. So let's have it. Here we go.
Top
10, Mars. Okay, number 10, District Leader Casey and Amber Perry. Number 9, Division Leader Patty and Memo Gallegos. They are now Regional Vice Presidents. Number 8, Senior Regional Leader Lauren Garza. Number 7, Regional Leader here in Atlanta, Georgia, Marianne and Dave Dean. Number 6, Regional Leader Laura Garcia. And then number 5, Division Leader Rico Combs. Number 4, Regional Leader Christian Sanchez, proud of you. Number 3, Senior Regional Leader Todd and Connie Kelly that are now Regional Vice Presidents. There might be others here that I don't know about, so forgive me. Number 2, Senior Regional Leader Cecilia and Edward Arredondo. And then, as you know, Marcy, there is only number 1. That's awesome. That's good the way you guys did that, okay? Number 1, Regional Leader out of the Reed Base Shop, the great Daria Weatherspoon. Way to go, Daria. Okay, now, Marcy, we are in the Regional Vice President category, so this is the big leagues, folks, and what it took to even be considered in the Regional Leader category, in Regional Vice President category, just stay right here, whisper in my ear. In the RVP category, you had to, in the last 90 days, you had to have at least 30 recruits in your base shop even to be considered. So Marcy, take it away, girl.
Number 25, we have the great Sue and Jared Rogan. Number 24, Sandra Radaza and Cheeto Radaza. Number 23, Gloria and Oswaldo Calderon. Number 22, Calvin and Tiffany Bradshaw. Number 21, Pete and Nellie Tiarina. Number 20, Melissa and Cameron Blue. Number 19, Sandy and Monaco Morales. Number 18, Carlos Gonzalez and Kayla Gonzalez. Number 17, Eddie and Susanna Barrera. Number 16, Logan and Andrea Clark. Number 15, Scott and Georgia Godfrey. Number 14, Whitney and Jermaine Walker. Number 13, Michael and Lisa Chaffin. Number 12, Kobe and Chastity Roberts. And number 11, James and Marcia Sherrod.
Wow, so proud of that team of RVPs, man. That's incredible. And now, if you're wondering, because, you know, now our top 10s, last time we got T-shirts, folks, we got people with 10 Gforce T-shirts now, you know, so
they're putting
now
on their kids and grandkids
that's right.
at night.
But the number 1 players get a beautiful number 1 plaque, and then in our top 10, they're going to get a beautiful Gforce plaque also. So we'll be getting those out to you right after today's all over. So this week should be a fun time for all of our award winners across North America. And here's our top 10 To make it there, you had to have at least 57 recruits in the last 90 days in the base shop. And here we go. Number 10, National Sales Director, Randy and Jan Norman. Number 9, Regional Vice President, Stephen and Lana Newton. Number 8, Regional Vice President, Carlos and Mary Arana. Number 7, Regional Vice President, Janicia and Anthony Brooks. Number 6, Senior National Sales Director, competing big time, Mark and Sandy Yazapovic. Number 5, we have Hugo and Maria Sanchez, killing it as SVPs. Number 4, Senior Vice President, brand new SVPs, right? Angie and Henry Guerra. And then number 3, Regional Vice President, Laura and Robert Balls. And then number 2, RVP, first generation to number 1. They're building a massive hierarchy. Regional Vice Presidents finishing number 2 with 92 recruits in the last 90 days. The great Sish and Britt Rimson. And Marcy, as we know, there is only
Number one.
That's right. And our number 1 finisher, he's going to be scoring big time today. The great SVP, Reggie and Charity Reed with, listen to me, 161 recruits. Unbelievable lap to field.
Not even close.
Yeah, and so with that, I hope Reggie is ready to go because we are ready. We're going to hear from him right now. So Reggie Reed, Reggie and Charity, of course, got promoted to Senior Vice President, and they are not only number 1 in recruiting for the contest, but they're also, I'm going to just let the cat out of the bag, but he's also scored number 1 in base shop premium too. So 2 number 1 finishing out of 4 categories. Reggie and Charity hail out of San Antonio, Texas. They got 5 regional vice presidents. Listen to this. Last 12 months, I mean, I think he grew his income close to 200% over last year. Absolutely extraordinary what's going on. Last 12 months, been paid over $425,000. I am so proud of him. He has ignited all of Gforce. You better take notes. And here we go for the great SVP, Reggie Reed. Take it away, Reg.
What's going on? What's going on? Hey, thank you for having us. Let me pull this up here really quickly. Thank you all for having us. Truly grateful to be on with you, Gforce family. This is Coach Reggie Reed here. With the few minutes we have, we want to move really quickly. I just want to talk to you all about the overarching message we've been sharing with our team. These past couple months, I'm a transparent guy. They've been a little challenging, right? We've been fighting an uphill battle, but there's a message that I've been sharing with the team, and I just feel like God wanted me to share this with the hierarchy as we get started with this great event here concerning time. Listen, it doesn't matter. As an entrepreneur, you find yourself in one of these 3 different times, in one of these 3 different stages. You're either at an inspired time in your business, you're in an uninspired time in your business, or you're in a recovery time in your business, right? And listen, when it comes to inspired time, look, we all know what it feels like to be inspired, right? We know what it feels like to be inspired to do something great. And the reason we're all here is because we heard that Primerica message, and that Primerica message lit our butts on fire, right? And just like this picture, you see this picture here, you got this guy that's pulling up this maze, right? He's making financial literacy available to all. He's removing the veil so that everybody can have freedom. And that's how we felt when we started this business, right? We wanted our friends, our families, and our communities to experience that same freedom that we felt when we heard the message. And we want to change the world, and we wanted to make a difference. And you showing up today shows that you're still committed to doing that, and we celebrate you for that, right? But look, when you and I are inspired, we feel like our dreams are literally, we can touch them. We feel like there's nothing we can't do. And we want to share this message with everybody, right? And everybody who comes around us can feel that energy. We all know what it means to be inspired. But the question is, what do you do when you're uninspired? What do you do like when you have these outward forces that are disturbing your inner vision. They're disturbing your inner drive, your inner peace. You've got these outside forces that are starting to cloud that once very clear vision, right? See, teammates, it's you and I's ability to persevere right through the pain and persevere through all of the different setbacks that's going to make us great entrepreneurs and going to make us great Primericans. You and I got to learn how to fight through the uninspired times. See, it's that pain that develops true entrepreneurial character. And our true character is revealed not in the light, but in those dark times, right? And when the bills are mounting up, and when the kids are acting up, right? And when the spousal disagreements are heating up, and when the momentum is paper thin, we got to fight through that, right? Look, when the external forces and the external situations are so loud that it's hard to hear our inner voice, and it's hard to sense that inner drive to get any kind of momentum, right? We've got to learn how to fight through that, right? The phone feels like 1,000 pounds and you're really not motivated to talk to anyone or to do anything. You've got to learn how to fight through that. How do you inspire someone else maybe when you're uninspired? You just do it anyway, baby. You've got to faith it until you make it. Not fake it, but you've got to faith it until you make it. And look, family, it's in these moments that you're building those strong entrepreneurial muscles so that you can endure in this business, right? And so if look, and here's the real reality. If you don't learn how to endure during the uninspiring times, how will you ever have the true conviction to coach someone else on how they should endure? Family, these are the times that are the most defining, right? You'll never be able to help someone and coach someone how to continue to move when the excitement is worn off. That's why you've got to endure and you got to fight through the uninspired times. Look, the key to enduring, catch this, the key to enduring the uninspiring seasons is to get to the next. Reggie, what do you mean? Listen, you got to make the next phone call. You've got to set the next appointment. You've got to attend the next training. And just like today, you got to attend the next event. But coach, help me understand. Which phone call is the most important phone call? Which appointment is the most important appointment? Which training is the most important training? Which event is the most important event? It's the next one, baby. It's the next one. That's how you get through the uninspiring times. Everybody can win when it's inspiring. Everybody can do something when they're motivated. But what do you do when you're unmotivated, right? How do you fight through it? How do you keep pushing so that you can take your business to the next level? You just got to fight through it, Gforce family. And the last thing we got for you here is the recovery time. Okay. I hope y'all can see the PowerPoint. The recovery time. Y'all see my guy is knocked out here. The great Mike Tyson said this. He said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, 85% of entrepreneurs are taken out because they don't know how to get through the knockout. They don't recover fast enough. See, the longer you stay on the mat, the more you think about all the reasons why you can't do this business, you won't get up. See, I remember it like yesterday. It was 8 months into the business. It was December of 2014. We kept going back and forth between being inspired and uninspired, right? And I remember during those holiday seasons, my entire team quit. The entire team quit. It took all the wind out of our sails and I was knocked out. And it was easy for a week to not get up. So many thoughts are racing through my mind. And then a week turned into a month. And then a month turned into 2 months. And every month it got easier to sell out to a reason of why I shouldn't get up. But family, here's what I hear. Here's what I want to tell you. Those millions of reasons why you were inspired to move, we understand that during those downtimes, there's 1,000,001 reasons why you shouldn't move. But the most successful entrepreneurs just learn how to recover faster. They learn how to get up when they get knocked down faster. See, they fight through the fear, they fight through the pain, they fight through the hurt, and they never ever give up, and they're never out for the daggum count. See, how long does it take you to recover when your best guy or your best gal quit? How long does it take you to recover when you're fighting through chargebacks? How long does it take you to recover when your people are no longer quote unquote following you, right? Or when you run out of people to talk to in general? How long does it take you to recover, right? When you feel like you don't have spousal support and nobody's really, and everybody's talking against your quote unquote business, your Primerica business. How long does it take you to recover when you lose that spark and you lose that fire? How long does it take you to recover? You got to get off the daggum mat, because if you stay on the mat too long, you'll talk yourself to staying on the mat and you'll quit. And we're not no daggum quitters, right? We're not quitters. See, look, in Primerica, you've got to learn how to recover faster. You've got to recover faster. Look, here's the reality. When you're down, you got to call your upline right away. You've got to be transparent. In the entrepreneur superpower, you've got to be accountable. If you're not accountable, family, you're not getting off the mat. You got to learn how to talk about your goals and dreams daily with yourself and with your spouse and with your teammates. You got to learn how to never miss a meeting, how to never miss a training, how to never miss an event, right? You've got to build those Primerica muscles so that you can endure, family. And when, not if, but when you get knocked down, you've got to learn how to get back up faster. See, what took months from you to get up from, you've got to learn to recover from in weeks. And what took weeks from you to get up from, you've got to learn to recover in days. And what took days to recover from, you've got to learn to recover in hours. And listen, when you're in your ultimate fighting form, what took hours to recover from, to get up from, you've got to learn to recover from in minutes, right? Family, it used to be very embarrassing to us to admit that we were down for the count for 10 months. But one thing that I'm proud that Coach Reed and I didn't do is we didn't quit. We got up. We got off the daggum mat. We fought through it. And I'm so proud of my wife, and I'm so proud of our team. And now we're SVPs. We're fighting for this fifth diamond because we didn't give up, dadgummit. Family, whether you find yourself in an inspiring time, an uninspiring time, or recovery time, never get up. Get off the mat. We believe in you. We believe in this hierarchy. We believe in this business. And listen, we'll see you all at the top, because there's so many people we got to help at the bottom. You got it, Randy.
Oh, man, Rich. Woo!
Awesome.
That was the best start we could have ever prayed
Perfect
for.
start.
I'm telling you, he laid the foundation for the rest of this webinar. What a perfect teaching right before we bring on our super guest speakers right now.
So excited about that.
Marcy, I mean, we're about everybody. You better get in front of the television, get in front of wherever
Do
you're
the
at.
best you can,
I
taking
know.
notes.
And
Just
listen,
the best you can.
And we had to get them up early. I mean, they're out of Glendora, California. Okay, Neil and Victoria Gurfein, probably one of the top power couples in all of this
Absolutely,
company. They have scorched to the top in every category you can ever imagine. They turned in their hiring papers in 1995. So they're not overnight successes. It seems overnight to me, you know, because I've been around
a little longer
a lot
than that.
longer than they have, and they've accomplished a lot more.
Well, they're a
in
lot
shorter
younger than we are,
period of
too.
time. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I think they were still in grade school when we came
Probably.
on board. But anyway, listen to this. He made it to regional vice president in 1998. SVP and NSD, y'all new people remember what that stands for, okay? They did it both in 1 year, 2009. Unbelievable. This is where they start their meteoric rise. And then SNSD in 2012 just went over 2 million. I believe, I'm not sure, Neil, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you got at least two $1 million earners in your hierarchy now. I think I'm right on that. Obviously, it seems like every single convention we're at, not only is he one of the top speakers there, but he's always carrying off all the big rewards and recognition, MVP, convention after convention. Folks, you are going to get worked. I'm working you right now, okay? You better pay attention. Do not miss a moment for the next 45 minutes from Glendora, California, our special guest speakers, the great Neil and Victoria Gurfein. Take it away, guys. Boom! All right. Woo!
Thank you so much, Randy and Marcy. We love you guys, and we love your whole hierarchy. As we were listening, Reggie give an incredible message. I loved it. I took like 3 pages of notes, Reginald. Thank you so much. And we've never stopped learning. We're always students of the business, and you know we're just grateful, super grateful to be part of it. We're super honored to be here, and I'm just going to share a little bit about our personal story because I know there's a lot of new people out there, and we all need a story of hope. You know, pretty much a miracle of the success that Neil and I have had, and you know I'm going to share right now. I'm going to go over to my pictures real quick and just share with you who we are and where we started. This is Neil and I before Primerica, and we met at 18, 19 years old, and at Disneyland together, and just being just a normal couple. We actually, you know, both grew up in the hood, but different hoods, you know, and where I thought we were totally different because when I met Neil, his family had a business, successful, so I thought, and, you know, and I was from the wrong side of the tracks. I didn't know why he was attracted to me. I was super insecure, introvert, and just, you know, didn't really believe in myself. And when we took a look at Primerica, we were engaged to be married. We were actually living here. We were just a couple of months from getting married, actually. We had already gotten married on paper, but, you know, getting ready to get married in the eyes of the Lord. And we were living here in this little house, not renting that house. We were actually renting a little room from that house. And Neil knows the size of that room. It was pretty small. Too small to fit the big trophies that we were getting. But when we were living here, Neil's friend was approaching us, and we really didn't know what he was talking about because he was pretty brand new. But we did know that we were embarrassed where we were living, so much so that he finally said, well, come over to my house and we'll give you the presentation. And we did. We didn't even have that presentation in this house as we were renting that little room and just, you know, kind of embarrassed of our situation. And we had no money. I was a customer service rep. Neil was a warehouse worker. And we knew we wanted a better life. We were just feeling blessed that we had each other. I mean, trust me, we were excited like all the time, even though we had no money. We were just happy that we were in each other's lives. And when they gave us the presentation at our friend's house, right away I knew I needed life insurance. We needed life insurance even though we didn't have kids yet. My family didn't believe in life insurance. You know, I'm Mexican American, and nobody that I knew in my family had any kind of life insurance or anything. But I did know that in our family, my brother-in-law at 26, my sister got married when she was 18 years old, and her husband was 20. And when he was 26, he was in a car accident. He died in that car accident, and my sister was left with 2 children, or my nephew and pregnant with my niece, and they lost their first home. She lost her first home. That was all she had. She was a stay-home mom. And she basically had to start all over again, living at my parents' home. I was a kid. She came back, and her kids were being raised by kids. And it was a situation that I realized didn't have to happen if somebody would have come up to my family and talked to us about it. Wow. And even then, would we believe? You know, maybe we would not listen. But because my family experienced that, I knew, like, I wanted a good foundation, and I wanted to learn more about money. And I opened up a mutual fund for $25. So did Neil. That night we had buyer's remorse. We stared up at the ceiling going, oh my gosh, like, what did we get ourselves into? Yeah. Neil was excited about doing a budget. but I was like scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do we get ourselves into? Can we do this? Can we do the $25 a month?
Yeah.
And I asked, I said, you know, if we don't have the $50, can we stop it at some point? You know, and they told us yes. And I was like, oh, phew, okay. And Neil started bugging the heck out of me. Like every Friday he'd say, hey, let's have lunch together and talk about our game plan. I said yes. And then he started doing it every Friday and writing our bills down, doing a budget. And then I started like not liking it and just hated, like, I just want to stop talking about money, you know. And he's like, what are you talking about? If you're feeling this uncomfortable, then this is why we need to talk about it. We can do this. And what happened in a short period of time is like, we got licensed right away. You know, Neil just kept saying, you know, hun, you can do this. You can do this. I need your help. I have dyslexia. I have a reading disorder. You need to help me study. And he was really tricking me into getting involved, and because I just wanted to be his cheerleader. I didn't even drive. I barely got my driver's license. I didn't. Where we live in California, you have to drive, you know. And he said, we can't get married unless you drive. And I got my driver's license, and now I have to drive to these meetings. I was like scared to get on the freeway. Never got on the freeway until I joined Primerica. My very first meeting was a women's event, and I just assumed Neil was going to drive me there. And he said, no, you got to go on your own. You just, you know, it was at the Disneyland Hotel by Marna Sharp. And he just said, just go straight. And when you see Disneyland, you exit. I was getting honked at by everybody. I was so excited that I even made it there. And just listening to the women and their inspiring stories, it just lit me up. I felt like I finally belonged somewhere, you know, where people share their struggles that open up like that. I thought, like, this is definitely a special place, and I definitely need something like that. Being as shy and insecure as I was, I had more than just Neil now encouraging me, and I just wanted to be part of that journey, and I never ever wanted to be an anchor in Neil's boat. And this picture right there is Neil and I. We just got licensed a month. We won a contest to go on a yacht for Mark and Sue. Mark's birthday, he was turning 40.
Yep.
And we were just so excited. They picked us up in a limo. We watched Art Williams' video for the very first time in that limo. They popped in the video.
VHS.
Mark and Lizette Rolls, our uplines, they popped in this video of Art Williams. And at first I giggled, you know, because he just so animated, you know, and entertaining. And then I really paid attention and started to listen to Art, and it just hit home. It hit my heart. I'd never heard anybody speak so passionately about something he believed in so strongly. And it really got me excited that this was the man that started Primerica, you know, A.L. Williams. And we watched that. We bought that video and we watched it in that little room pretty much every day. We loved it. Neil obviously memorized it. And we just would listen to that just to pump us up and think about our future. So when I saw that book, All You Can Do is All You Can Do, I highly recommend that book to all the new people. It really, you know, it sounds cliche, but it really did change my life because it opened up my eyes to possibilities for Neil and I, that this is something good. And I definitely did the research because before that I worked for a credit reporting company. And they did the credit checks from the Better Business Bureau. And so I even though we didn't have Google, I really feel that I did the right kind of research, not the fake kind of research where you hear people. We heard all kinds of terrible things. We'd never heard of Primerica ever before in our life. But when we got in, all of a sudden people were saying terrible, horrible things. And I just made sure, I'm so thankful that I called the Better Business Bureau, and they said for the size of the company, they had like little to average size complaints, real complaints. And I just thought, okay, that's good, because I remember doing all those checks with other companies with a whole list of complaints and etc. And I called the Department of Insurance, and they said Primerica licenses more people, not only in California, but in the country. And I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I was working at Farmers and I had never heard of Primerica. And then I went to the library to look up the Rule of 72 because I'm not that smart. maybe they made this up, and I'm just like following along, and there it was. It was historically been mentioned since like the 1700s, the Rule 72, and I was blown away, and I said, "There's a lot we don't know, Neil. There's a lot, but the number one thing is that I went to the my job, and a client that had retired had a policy, and I'd only been in Primerica 2 weeks and 2 Saturday trainings, and I took lots of notes, and I went back to my job, and a gentleman that had a policy brought it in, because remember, I've never known anybody that had a life insurance policy in my family. My family just didn't believe in it, and I found those rules. I looked up in the table of contents, and I said, wow, I've never learned so much and been so like sick to my stomach at the same time that I was working there. And not that those people are bad, it's just the industry. And I just gave 2 week notice, and I said, I don't know where I'm going to work. I know I can find a job anywhere as a customer service rep, but I did tell Neil that like I'm going to be dedicated to this. I don't know how long it's going to take me, because I'm not that smart. It takes me a while to learn things, but I'm going to do my best to learn what I can and be an asset to you and to our business. And I just want to be a good example. So not only did I read All You Can Do, but Pushing Up People, I think that is a book that you can reference to for the rest of your career in Primerica. It's such a good book of how to learn how to encourage others when I didn't know how to encourage myself. And so the experiences that we've had here, the highs and lows, have been priceless. Priceless. I can't even tell you what it means to me to be part of Primerica, and to the way that it has changed our life is incredible. It's basically a miracle to have the background that we have, to have no belief. I really get emotional, but don't mistake my tears are happy ones. I promise you that. I'm just an emotional person, and we never feel that we've arrived. When this, well, really quick with our boys. Our oldest son, he played a lot of sports. He played a lot of football. Long story short is he was misdiagnosed and was diagnosed with a very heavy illness that we didn't understand. It just, our world just kind of, it was upside down. And really, for a couple of years, we just devoted our life to our son and helping him and the struggles that he's gone through. And he's had a brain concussions and has suffered quite a lot, but we brought him out of that, and I'm just so thankful that if we didn't have Primerica, we wouldn't be able to we saved his life, basically. And we wouldn't have been able to have the money, the resources, and especially the time to be there for our son. Most people in his situation would be living under a bridge.
Yep.
But today he's healthy, he's doing well, he's wrapping up school, and again, that's just, to me, to us, it's priceless. And during the pandemic, Neil, when it first hit the shutdown, we said, look, we looked at each other and said, what are we going to do? We're gonna look back and talk about how we responded during this time. And we made a decision, and we had a family meeting with our boys, and we said, look, we're going to give it all we got. We're financially independent. We can, just have a lockdown here and just wait till all this blows over, or we can react, we can respond, we can give back, we can give people hope. And when it first started, we just didn't know how to work the Zoom like most people, and then we just felt like we were on it like 5 times a day, every day, till we couldn't talk anymore. But it felt great to know that we could be a little bit of light for people, some hope, and just encourage people. And it feels really good that we can be part of a company like this, where if we weren't, we'd probably feel like most people, hopeless and just not knowing what to do and scared. And we definitely don't take that for granted, because it has given us something to look forward to. And now we have a new office, and I think that every month, every week, every year, you get a fresh start in Primerica, and that's what I love about Primerica. It's never, you never have to be exactly where you're at. You know, we learn the tools here, how to get back up and how to have a thriving business. Yes, and I'm gonna share one.
Screen one more time.
Yes, so I'm gonna go to the next slide. Sorry about that. I don't have too many slides, but I do want to just show you. Okay,
Hey.
so we got married and we paid our wedding off in 3 months. We paid over $10,000
In 95.
We figured, you know, when we put the down payment, we're like, the rest we can pay in credit card. But then when we learned about Primerica and how to budget, and then we just, you know, we established our family values. I believe that Primerica was a huge influence on that. We made a budget. We set goals. This is stuff we would have never done if we weren't in Primerica. And family motto, Gurfein's never quit. You know, and I really believe that if you have a foundation, you'll never forget where you come from. You'll appreciate the things that you have. And then your dreams are just like a bonus, because to me, I felt like my dreams are already coming true when I started to just overcome my fears, you know, and that's what meant a lot to me especially. But I wanted my parents to be proud, and I wanted Neil to, you know, just feel great that I was always going to be there for him no matter what.
Hey.
And so we just had our 25th wedding anniversary. We were going to make a, you know, it was going to be a big old shindig, but you know, obviously life happens, and we ended up really
With the pandemic.
One of our favorite places is Santa Barbara, because when we were brand new, we were planning to have like a big, huge honeymoon in the Bahamas. But when we did our budget and started thinking about, you know, a better future for ourselves, instead of blowing all our money, we went to Santa Barbara for the weekend, and all we talked about is our dreams, our goals. And so we go back every year for our anniversary, Santa Barbara. This is San Ysidro
Ranch.
San Ysidro Ranch. This is the Kennedys actually honeymoon there. One of their honeymoons,
Yeah.
I guess.
Place is ridiculous.
And we go there every year and just reflect on our life. It's a very beautiful place, and we just had, instead of tons of people, we just had our family, our moms, my sisters, Neil's sister, and in-laws, and it was just very intimate. And with our 2 boys, Nico and Diego, what a special place and a special time that we definitely appreciate and are still very hopeful and want to be able to pass that on to anybody that asks us to help. And it keeps us actually excited and young. And I look at Randy and Marcy and so many people, the Yazapovics, you know, and I see Carlos Gonzalez, and, you know, all of you guys have just been a positive impact in our life.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the big reasons why, you know, I wanted to be part of Primerica and continue to want to be, and just hopefully we can also be a good example for other people as well, you know, through the good and the bad. You know, we've just found a way to get through it, and in the most positive way that we can possibly be. And so that's our story. I hope that it helps some people, because to come from nothing to where we're at, we've definitely never arrived. We will not ever arrive. And it's just an incredible journey. You know, we never know when our journey ends, so just appreciate every moment, be grateful, and definitely looking forward to coming out of this in California. It's nasty that, like Neil said, we're super over the masks, and
ridiculous.
excited about you know, what's going to happen in our future. We've definitely set it up so that we can open up and continue to give other people hope. Thank you guys for letting me share. Here's Neil.
It's just awesome. Great job. Great job, honey. Awesome way to go. Hey guys, what's happening? Gforce in the house, and I just want to say how impressed we are. And I started looking at the leadership, through the gallery of Zoom. I see Dennis Viant. He's just what an amazing stud. It's great to see you, buddy. Carlos Gonzalez. The Yazapovics. I go on and on. I see the Grahams. There's so many special people that have impacted us in our journey. And Reggie Reed did a phenomenal job just being transparent. I just want you guys to understand. You hear multiple times that. It's never been better than these times in Primerica, and, all these great things that have happened. But the key really is that Vicki and I bought in a long time ago, and we saw this. You saw our pictures right there. We met in 1988 at a nightclub in Hollywood called Florentine Gardens. And that's our story. We just grown up in the business. We've grown up together. And we've just been extremely transparent, but we were students of the business. And I think a lot of people missed that window from the beginning of understanding why you're here, what your role is, what Primerica really is, the lifestyle of it, the 365, 7 days a week, 24/7. I can, I will, I'll do again, not hope, if, maybe, well. And I'm going to tie it into where the world's at today. But I just want to say a lot of you, and Randy and Marcy, you guys have had huge impacts somehow, some way in making us understand our highs and lows, our peaks, our valleys, and your stories have just been impactful in a huge way. And it makes us understand who we are and where we're going. And I really think that's great leadership. I really believe that when you set yourself on fire, people get inspired. People get inspired by your testimony. They get inspired by your choices under pressure. The life of jadedness, that it's never fair. God's sense of humor, treating us like a jigsaw puzzle and trying to figure ourselves out, and our internal inceptions. But I really believe it's grow a little, mature a lot. And I think that that's the big picture, is that people are going to do what you do, not what you say, and just really understand that these times, and understand how special Primerica is. And once you're at peace that this is where that God wants you to be, some will, some won't next. And I think that's the reality right now, is that as the world's changing right now, and this COVID C-19, and how the world was frightened, and how tragic things have happened to family and loved ones, and just understand that the vaccine's taking more momentum now than the C-19. And as it becomes a new normal, we got to be grateful for the technology of Zoom, because if this dynamic would have happened 10 years ago, I don't know what would have happened. But because we had Zoom, we were able to zoom, and a boom, boom, and we were able to get after this thing and still stay transparent, and still be animated in front of people, and understand that our crusade's alive and well. And we can never get away from that crusade against that industry, and realize the most important things that we do, and our track record, and why we're doing Primerica. And it's just time to get back to mastering the fundamentals. But when you look at it as it's going to become a new normal, Zoom is here to stay. But it's great for a transaction, but to touch the heart for the hand, to build relationships, to get kneecap to kneecap, to be part of an environment, to be part of a team like the Gforce that's bigger than yourself. There's a lot of ways that you can Nestle iced tea back into greatness, and realize that, I'm going to get after this. I'm going to do this thing. It really is one recruitment explosion. And when it gets back open and we get into a new normal, I want to be on top of the world. You look at the company today, it's probably about 16 months of the pandemic. We've had 400 new $100,000 earners. We've had like 19, 20 new $1 million earners. Like Tanya Poe was number 116. Eric and Amber Davis were number 106. See, a leader isn't measured how good he is, but who else he's duplicated. It doesn't matter how much income Neil and Victoria have made, who else make income? And I really believe that when you play that role to get people to see what you see and feel what you feel, there's wisdom to that. But that's all because of failure. That's all because of jadedness. That's all because, people say everything and do nothing, and you start building a tough skin about that. But if you love what you do, attitude's contagious. Is yours worth catching? So when you think about the opportunity today, what's crazy is think of how Primerica's delivered. Before the pandemic, we paid $3 million a day in death claims. Okay, when the pandemic hit, think of how many death claims that we've paid. Think of our company delivering. I would talk about all the time, there were, in 9/11, there was 1,500 financial companies that went down to about 671, and only 3 paid their death claims, and we're one of the 3. It doesn't matter who the other 2 are. They're not Primerica. You know what I'm saying? We had like $1 billion in a vault waiting for another Katrina, and it was called C-19. And think about this. In the last 16 months, how many life insurance companies commercials have you seen? You haven't, because they got to pay death claims. See, when the wind's blowing, what's still standing? See, we were able to see John Addison's greatest work, getting us out of shitty group. Are you with me, right? And do some great things. An IPO at $15 a share, April 1st, 2010. That night closed at $22. Today it's $160. See, that was like Haley's Comet going by. But see, Glenn Williams is the best CEO in American business. Look what Glenn's doing during this pandemic. Look at all the impact that he's had. Look at the team from extended remote learning areas of still staying on their A game and getting after it. That's not by accident. And individuals come into this opportunity since 1981 that carried a briefcase and got dark house to get into the home office, to make it special, to get after it, to take it to another level, to put Canada on the map, to move to Toronto from Atlanta. That's not easy. And to create that great leadership like Dennis Vian, like the Yazapovics, like the Grahams, everybody else, you know. And because that became great, look at the extended family of the Godfreys. It's time to get after this thing. You know, even hearing Carlos Gonzalez's story of being a pharmaceutical, being a pharmaceutical, like, or it'd be pharmacists, like, understand that's how the opportunity works. Average people doing average things extraordinarily well. But it's about reinventing ourselves. And the only way you can do that is being around winners, being around people that have made that decision, that have taken that quantum leap, that are excited about the paradigm shift. And that's what it's about right now. And it's not to be just frightened and scared and be a deer in the headlights. Look at the numbers right now. Primerica's got Christmas going on in May, because the reality is the world's out right now. Kids are graduating. Things are happening. But you know what? It's time to get on our A game and charge. It's time to get after this thing. It's time to light yourself on fire. It's time to master your personal story. It's time to be, just really get after this. And I want you to realize, know your role. Like, I'm looking at all these abundant people right now, but know your role. You got an exclusive hierarchy. You got your hierarchy that you're in. You might be a district, master that level. You might be a division, master that level. Train trainers, teach people to do what you do. And how you do that is being very transparent of what you used to do, why you're doing this, why you're so excited about the opportunity, and that's where people know that you're real. Because the eyes are the window of the soul. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so that's a big picture. And then from that dynamic, you go regional. Do things right. Reinvent the blueprint. Don't just get promoted on guidelines. Raise the bar. Be the reason. Be the hierarchy builder. Victoria Gurfein are hierarchy builders. We walked into the Rolls Bay shop. That thing was doing about 15, 20 grand. We grabbed the bull by the horns and we tore that thing up like a Texas tornado. We had 90 to 130 people coming to a meeting as regional leaders. Back in 95, 96, 97. That was a cassette. That was a CD. That was a payphone. You know what I'm saying? That was voice tell that it still drafts out of my account today. Are you guys with me, right? And you got to realize that. You got to love that. You got to master those tools. And we just got great at being very transparent of where we came from, how we saw the opportunity, why we're excited about the opportunity. And people are like, you know what? I'm not paid what I'm worth. I do hate my boss. I do hate my commute. I don't see my kids' events. See, think about this. In the 80s, okay? Look, in the 80s, a great job was 40, 50, 60 grand. Right? In the 90s, a great job still 40, 50, 60 grand. Man, 2021, a great job with degrees up to here is still 40, 50, 60 grand. Man, you'll make that part-time with us. It's time to quit your job in your mind. Small's not big. It's go from a W-2 into entrepreneurship. And what is entrepreneurship? Just a silver lining in things, right? Just a raise above mediocrity. You understand what I'm saying here? Like, our opportunities take 40 years of work into 10. And the only way that's going to happen is if you increase your value in the marketplace. This is better than Steve Jobs and Apple. This is better than Bill Gates and Microsoft. I'm not going to show you how to build a company of a company, tell you you're a stud, you're a studette, you're awesome. And we can never get away from that. Is that, we're looking for people looking for us. And it's too easy. When you're sold out, everybody joins. When you're sold out, the wife does come out of the room. When you're sold out, you don't get dark housed anymore. When you're sold out, everybody becomes a client. And that's really what it is. It's time to turn that light switch on right now. Because you know what? Think and Grow Rich only says you get 1 or 2 opportunities in your life. Is this going to be your first or your last? And understand right now that it's not what I'm saying. It's how you're feeling internally that matters. What's going to light your fuse? When's enough going to be enough? Man, I'm done living like this. Man, I'm done living with pennies in the pockets, bill collectors calling, behind on my promises. Man, I'm done about the stimulation shit. I want to get after, excuse my French. I want to get after this. Are you guys with me, right? And take this thing to another level. Man, I'm done being cynical. Man, I'm done feeling sorry for myself. Man, I love this crusade. If I don't help you, no one's going to help you. Yeah, I know you heard of Primerica. Yeah, I know I'm the sixth person to come in your home. Then why aren't you a client? So you don't love it like I love it. You don't believe in the concepts like I believe in. You understand what I'm saying? I'm more committed than all those other 5 people. Some will, some won't next. And I'm telling you, it's time to get the Midas touch. It's time to get after this thing. It's time to get 212 again. It's time to just do this, man. Look, in 90 days, think about this. In 90 days, it's going to be July. It's going to be August. And you can be on top of the world. One income replace. Have some part-time income. Pay off some debt. We got an FTP bonus off the chain. You're going to get trained while you really get paid while you're getting trained. Like, there's you cut the umbilical cord when you're ready. We train till you get it. See, if I wake you up right now at 3 in the morning, you know exactly what to do at your job, which means that you became an asset to someone else's dreams and goals. See, small's not big. See, if you're hanging around people with little dreams, you can't do that. See, if you're a level 6 of leadership and you hang out with a 2, you're immediately a 3. That's John Maxwell. And understand that the law of leadership is everything. Man, look, age is just a number. It's overrated. It's just a number. It's overrated. Think about this. Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried at 69. Went around a big white suit and a white caddy and got rejection until 69. You guys understand that? Think Nelson Mandela got married for the 3rd time at 83. He let us all know that it ain't over until it's over. I mean, Nike paid LeBron James at 18 out of high school $100 million before he signed his first contract with the Cavaliers. Think about that. Understand how important it is in this world. See, you got to realize that, it takes 18, 24, 36 months. I mean, think about Ray Kroc started McDonald's at like 56, 54 years of age. Lived to like 98. Think about that. His second half of his life was better than his first half. It's time to take over the second mountain. It's time to charge and get after this thing. You know that I'm right. So think about man, I'm done living in fear. False evidence appeared real. Man, 99% of things I worry about never happen. Man, I'm scared like you're scared. But you know what? I'm going to stay up in the down world. And you track that. You track those kind of things. You're like, well, I'm not like that. Yeah, all you talk about is Primerica. When we join, we're showing our pictures. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to realize, it's just time to get after that stuff. Dude, all you do is talk about Primerica. All you talk about is like your life, what it's going to be like, dude. I talked to someone and they tried it and it didn't work. Dude, okay, there's people who do drugs. I mean, I'm going to do drugs. You know what I'm saying? People dropped out of high school. I didn't drop out of high school. You don't judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, It's time to stop worrying about those kind of people. They don't pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, all you ever talked about, dude, I could have done it, but I know you got an awesome wife, but, you can't roll with people like that and expect to be on top of the mountain. And understand, you got to dismount with that kind of stuff. That's confrontation. Confrontation's good because it leads to adversity, and greatness is born through adversity. And enough's going to be enough, man. You know what I'm saying? And as the world opens back up, I just want to make sure, and the leadership want to make sure that you're on top of that world with the fundamentals, but not but love what we do. You know what I'm saying? An industry that keeps your money for the first 2 years, 1 to 4% return on your money, 6 and up to borrow on your money, can hold your money up to 6 months by law, and when you die, they keep the savings. It's time to tackle that thing, because as the more people we show about that dynamic, the more we show people how to win at a high level and fight that industry, that's how you get promoted. You know what I'm saying? And everything else, the Rule 72, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, too easy. What we do is too easy. It's us to make it complicated. Just stay with the fundamentals and go from good to great. And I'm going to be great at this. You know what I'm saying? I want to take this thing to another level. And obviously, it's time to bring our A game. And the only way that happens is by being uncomfortable. Confession leads to obsession. I'm going to get after this thing. I'm going to have a 90-day spurt. I'm going to get serious about this. I'm going to eliminate all the distractions. I'm going to make this thing happen. I'm going to have an immediate family meeting. See, when the pandemic hit, more's caught than taught. How do we do Primerica? Behind closed doors, right? Our children see us on the Zoom. We're helping them with their homework. I was a PE coach. I was like the dean for the kids. I was an SNSD. I was all these things, like all of us were. But as it opens back up, where are you going to be? It's time to charge. See, Zoom is here for on a professional level for keeps. We shouldn't have to network anymore unless it's completely toxic. And you got to realize right now, as we take this to another level, we got so many different dynamics across 52 states now and different, right, to dominate this thing. Puerto Rico, Guam, Virgin Island, Canada, United States. Like, let's roll. Too easy. We're 2% of the market. Our goal is to become 10. That 8% increase take 154 years to be accomplished. That's job security. Whatever you do in the home and whatever we do in the home, the client wins. And I'm talking to you exactly like I talked to the dream team, our hierarchy. And a leader isn't measured how good he is, but also he duplicates. It doesn't matter how much income that we make, who else makes income? Our payroll last month was like $1 million, okay, with our hierarchy. In a world that makes no sense. See, Primerica's tested. See, 2008, 2009, you know what I'm saying? 2008, 2009, the world was ending. There was negative AMs, and the financial industry got exposed, and everybody was scared. And Vicki and I charged. Primerica's always delivered during the worst times in the history of America. If you think about it, it's in God's hands. And so once you're at peace with that, now it's all about running downhill. And people miss that window. This is a window of greatness right now. This is a window for you to get after it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want you to realize that that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And just like, we were more excited to see Tanya Poe go over $1 million than when we hit $1 million. We were more excited to see Eric and Amber Davis go over $1 million than we went over $1 million. See what I'm saying? Like, that's two directs, direct to Victoria and I over $1 million. And Wanda Myrna Girl will be the third direct to hit $1 million. And it's all because of high standards and high expectations and absolute ultimatums and setting ourselves on fire and being mocked and people rolling their eyes and, oh, you're not going to make it. And that motivated us. That motivated us. You talk bad about Primerica, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, that motivates us. You got to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? It's good to be passionate. Oh, you're so passionate. Yeah, I seen my dad pass away of a massive heart attack at 55, and my mother devastated in those 5 rules that I talked about. Promise for Prudential, 150 grand. That rule's kicked in. We got 20 grand. Last my mom 2 months after the funeral. We didn't put a stone on my dad's grave for 2 years because every dime that Vicki and I made went back in Primerica. Build your business from big event to big event. Sue Younger, big, 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 right? And we put every dime back in Primerica. But you know what? That made us tough. That made us resilient. We had faith. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got brainwashed. Yeah, you are too, to work a job 30, 40 years and be broke. I'm brainwashed to take this thing to another level and be free. You see what I'm saying here? So you choose what you want to put in your head. And I promise you, the loudest voice in your head wins. And there's enough dynamic leadership to dominate this thing that's on the Gforce and taking this thing to another level. Randy said straight up, talk to the hierarchy like you talk to the whole Gforce, like 2,000 people, like you do the dream team. So I'm at your service. Like, I love this thing. And the reason why I'm so passionate is during all the hard times. The prices that we paid, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not going to cancel that policy. You have 6 kids. Something happens to you. Your family's dead. Absolutely not. Let me teach you how to pay the right bill. Let me explain to you how important that is. See, we practice what we preach. You join Primerica and you don't want to get protection? We're not interested because they're going to ask you if you have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to realize we crawl before we walk before we run. Common sense is involved. And it's very important you guys understand that, okay? So I'm trying to let you guys, like, let's go. Like, come on. Let's get after this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? And that's like an important factor, you know? And as I shift gears here, play hurt. Get excited. People will get inspired by that. People want more of who you are than what you have. And so by playing hurt, you're going to inspire a lot of other people to want to play hurt. See, I used to try to change everybody early on. I used to try to recruit. I would bring people in early in the business, right, and try to make them Neil Gurfein. It's impossible. God's only made one of us. Are you guys with me, right? There's personalities that could relate. But if you think about it, we got the American melting pot on the Zoom right now. Average people doing average things extraordinarily well. And when you realize that, it's always about playing hurt because it's never going to be fair. You know, things are going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's our ability to continue to charge. And I think that's really what it is. And you find that our tears are real. I mean, I've met 2 people in my life that cry and a tear goes here, stops, goes back in their eye. Just 2 in 26 years. Okay, are you with me, right? And the reality is that, you know, if you think about it, we attract who we are. So if we're growing 1% a day to keep poverty away, but if we're growing 1% a day, we're always going to eventually attract better and better people. Why? Because we're getting better at rejection, better hearing no one ask it another way, better explaining our personal story. Things are getting more crystal clear. See, Primerica doesn't get easier. We get better. And I think that's the key, better in life, better in the responsibility of it's not about us anymore, and people out there sold out to what we're about, and that worthiness, that achievement, and all the rejection, all the things that aren't fair, which is every day, gives you that worthiness. And the prices that we pay, the trade-off. People go, well, dude, I'm sold out, dude. Like, I'm doing it right. I wouldn't be broke if I wasn't in it. No, that's not trade-off. Because I've seen people at jobs settle for less and less and less at jobs. Okay, no, you've never been coachable. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the key right there. Is all we know is going and growing and getting after it and burning the bridge, and we got nowhere else to go, and all these things that we understand here. And that's why there's such a mutual respect with such strong leadership here, because we've paid prices. We've all paid prices where there's a lot of respect for each other, but it's time to take this thing to even another level, a higher expectation. Reinventing ourselves. That ain't easy. I read a book, Stephen Chandler, Reinventing Yourself. It said that we developed our personality by age 14, and that we're all a 5-year-old inside that just want to be treated special and fair. And I go, I could relate to that. See, when I came to Primerica and Sue would look at us, I just felt good. She'd say we're going to be huge. I felt good. She said that our past didn't have to be our future. I'm not saying we had a bad past, but we want to have a great future. And I'd go around I'd go around Primerica world, right? And they'd say, hey, dude, like, what was the hardest thing you ever had to do? What was like the hardest thing you had to do when you were brand new? And I'd say, dream. I struggled. My parents filed bankruptcy twice, I like just dream. I was kind of like, I turned that off about my life. I didn't understand it. You know what it is? Like, the hardest thing I had to do was when I found a broken person, I had to learn how to stop trying to fix them and play Humpty Dumpty. See, when they're broken, they want to be broken. And I would try to like churn them around and, oh, you can win with Neil and Victoria, and oh, you're awesome. And you know what I'm saying? Like, lepers don't lose their spots, they only get bigger. You know what I'm saying? But as long as we're up, as long as I got Victoria, as long as we're going to get after this thing. I ain't saying we're perfect. We're not far from perfect, okay? Ben, we love this though. We love Primerica. We love, I know it sounds crazy. You got to love people. But see, you can't love anybody until you love yourself. And that's your homework assignment. This is an attraction stage, and it ain't looking good. Like, we recruited Ken and Barbie. We did, but they're both insecure as insecure gets inside. They might look good outside, but inside, man, they're soft. You know what I'm saying? And understand that, like, that's what we're looking for, is that look in the eye, that the shoulders back, and just excited people. And we know who's really fired up. We know who really wants to get after this thing. We know who wants to take this thing with us and get it 212. And I think that's the key right there. You know what I'm saying? Is just kind of hearing no one asking another way, but touching that heart for the hand and asking permission of, hey, look, we're never gonna give up on you. We're gonna be the reason why you're successful, not the reason why you're not. And it's just, that's what we do. That's the job requirement, is to train trainers, to get people that next level, to get people to quit their job in their mind, to get them to district correctly, to get them to division correctly, to get them to regional correctly, to have them go RVP correctly. And those are the things, that's the financial blueprint that we're going to reinvent again. That with the era and the time right now and the tools that we have of Primerica, the home office leadership, the leadership of the Gforce, man, it is on and cracking. Are you guys with me, right? And everything you do in life is too easy once you overcome all your fears. And I think that's just what it's all about. And Vicki and I truly have become the people we dreamed about. Like Jim Rome said, it's not the million you make, but the person you become in the process. We're going to make mistakes every single day. We're human. We're human beings. I'm going to say I'll say 100 things and 99 are freaking off the hook. But I said one negative thing, and all they remember is that one negative thing. That's just what we do. When you stand in a room of 100 people and stick your head up, who do they want to throw rocks at? Here comes Mr. Millionaire. Oh yeah, he's gonna make it. Dude, you ain't gonna make it, dude. You're gonna be just like your dad, work hard and die, bro. You ain't gonna make it. Do you know I heard all these things? And you know what? A lot of people on the Zooms heard the same similar things. Instead of being angry and letting that person have power over me, it motivated me when someone hung up the phone on me. It motivated me when my best guy quit. It motivated me when I lost a $20,000 leg. It motivated me when I lost a few first generations. It motivated me when all we had was Victoria and I and Kentucky Fried Chicken and Thanksgiving. It motivated me when she got a Charlie Brown freaking Snoopy Christmas tree with no gifts. It motivated me when people said you can't do it. It motivated me. You know what I'm saying? It's on and cracking, guys. And I'm just telling you, that feeling will never go away. And I'm trying to bring it out of you right now because you know what? It's crazy out there. Self-improves in here, but don't self-improve out there. We showed you the house we grew up in. I seen Yazapovic show that little house with that Chevy Nova. I can just imagine Dennis Vian following up with them and telling them how great they're going to be, how awesome is that Chevy Nova taking Cody across Canada, and then someone else said, oh, the meeting canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that hold on to Vicky and I. Tell us we're not losing our mind. Right. Our first retreat with the Youngers in 95, they were guest speakers. I'm like, I relate to this guy. This guy's awesome. He was shocked how much hockey I understood because one of my favorite movies is Slapshot. You know, my friend was crazy about the Edmonton Oilers. I was a King fan in LA. I knew about all those people, right? I didn't understand it until I got into Primerica. See, I realize now that I was like, there's a story that we're all like, all the angels are in heaven. And our life's pre-domain, like God said, okay, who wants to go to earth? And they're like, oh, I do. And he said, okay, you're going to be there for 3 years. Okay, you're going to be there for 15 or like 20 years. You're going to be there for 40 years. You're going to be there for 99 years. Like, and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And I don't care, I want to go. You know what I'm saying? And you know, life will get in the way. As soon as you start saying, I'm going to win, it's on and cracking, I'm sold out, God goes, okay, let's see how tough you are. Boom, adversity. Boom, more adversity. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Animal House. Thank you, sir. Can I have another? Thank you, sir. Can I have another? Thank you, sir. Can I have another? And get excited about, you know what? Nothing can stop us. I refuse to be denied. And I hope you're feeling me through this damn technology because you know what? Man, it is on. And I just want you guys to know that, man, it's just an honor to be here. Thank you, you know, the Godfrey family. Thank you, Primerica. Thank you, everybody here. I'm just so impressed that everybody's kind of on the Zoom together, an extended family. You know, we got to all unite. We all got to do great things here in our part of the world, your part of the world. Let's go open a can of whoop ass and do this thing on life and Primerica because you know what? Primerica needs us and people need us even more. Man, I just want to tell you, it is an honor to be on this Zoom with you guys, man. We freaking love you guys.
Woo! Man, I'm blown away right now. I knew they were going to be off the chain, but man, I did not realize. I mean, I knew what Neil and Victoria can do on stage live. I'd never seen him on Zoom. I mean, he blew up Zoom. I mean, he blew up Zoom.
And Victoria's sweetheart just comes across, and the fact that they've always been able to turn negatives into positives, if y'all can see that and learn that one thing, and the only mistake you can ever make is quit. Yeah. And all the mistakes you're going to make otherwise are just learning steps.
Neil will tell you what he teaches is mental toughness. Folks, you just got taught. Bottom line is, Gforce just got Gurfein. Yeah. I'm telling you.
That's
right? Huh? Man, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you both so much. It was incredible.
You're great friends. We love you to death. I just was talking, you know, we have close to 1,000 sites on right now, and all of those sites have people together in offices and homes. We're well over 2,000 right now. We had close to 1,600 register, and those registration forms
are multiple people.
In other words, you can have husband and wife on one form, right? So no telling how many more than 2,000 we have. But Neil, you impacted us, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate it. And man, we're going to pay you back by growing like crazy and help Primerica be continue to be the greatest company on this planet.
It was awesome. Thank you so much.
Man, and now let's get on with the program.
Yep,
I mean, we're still just starting here, and what a great start. Listen, we're about to go to recognition for Premium, Top 25 Premium. However, before we do, the guy that's going to kick us off right now, before we get into Premium, unbelievable friend of ours, right? And listen to me.
For 40 plus years.
Yeah. So National Sales Director Randy Norman is about to get on. And I want you to know, out of all these unbelievable speakers, right, there was only one couple, Randy and Jan Norman, that hit the top 25 in all four categories. Okay, Randy and Jan, now they've been promoting RVPs like crazy since the first of the year. They're now up to 6 regional vice presidents. He is up to 350,000 total codes right now, maybe more than that. But man, I couldn't be more proud of this guy. This team is on a surge like you can't believe. Help me welcome the great National Sales Director from Dallas, Texas, Randy Norman. Take it away, Randy.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks, team. It's so great to get an opportunity to share with you today. And I noticed that one of the things that Randy talked about at the very beginning when they ran the promo, was he said, that the dream can be put into one word, and that is freedom. And so that's what I want to talk to you about, for a little bit today. The greatest leader of the greatest movement in history is Jesus. And this is what he said. He said, I came to bring good news to the oppressed. I came to bind up the brokenhearted and to proclaim freedom to the captives. Okay. So what did he do? He came to serve. And then he goes on and says, in his eyes, pure and real religion is taking care of the widows and orphans and refusing to let the world corrupt you. So what in the world does that mean? That means serving, right? Taking care of other people and being everything that we were created to be. All right. So in Braveheart, I just watched the movie Braveheart the other day for like the 400th time. William Wallace said, land and money and titles without freedom is worthless. Why? Because your life still belongs to the king. Okay. A job offers us land, money, titles in exchange for our lives. So what do you mean by that, Randy? Well, they want our time, they want our money, they want our focus, they want our energy, they want our passion, they want our family. Okay. Because our lives still belong to our company or to our boss. They don't belong to us. A lot of you still believe that a good job does exist. I'm here to tell you it doesn't. I mean, Neil talked about it. Reggie talked about it. It doesn't. Okay. Quality of life or freedom is significantly affected by our time and our money. Those aren't the only two components, but that's a huge piece of our quality of life or our freedom. Okay. At your job, who controls your time and who controls your money? Your boss does. So what does that mean? That means no freedom. Okay. No matter how they dress it up, no matter what the dollar amount. Okay. It doesn't matter. The more they pay you, the more of your life they demand. They don't want it. They demand it. And they say, the more we pay you, you can't say no. Okay. Their job is to pay us as little as we'll settle for as long as we'll settle for it. I remember Jan, when we were newlyweds, she worked for an optometrist and her boss would never give her a raise. I go, honey, just tell him you're going to tell him you're going to quit. She goes, well, I'm not going to quit. I go, yeah, but go tell him you're going to quit, because as soon as you do, you run the office. He's going to give you a raise. She'd go in, tell him he's going to quit. He'd give her a raise. Every time she went in, he never gave her a raise without her going in and saying, hey, I'm going to quit. But every time she did, she got a raise. Why? Because his job was to pay her as little as she would settle for, as long as she would settle for it. Okay. I really believe this, teammates. I believe that God wants us to be free. Okay. And I believe that he wants us to be free to be the best version of us that he created us to be. Everett and Charlotte Asher, some of our new teammates, were just talking the other day, and they said, Charlotte said, Everett, is the best version of himself when he's in Primerica, when he's around you Primerica people, because y'all bring out the best in him. I was like, man, it can't get any better than that. Okay. He wants us free to serve and to impact others. I mean, I think about, Randy and Marcy going to Cuba. I think about Mark and Sandy and all the lives they've changed, because they have a heart to serve, because of Invita. I mean, that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to make a kingdom difference. Okay. And true freedom, obviously, true big time, huge freedom only comes from following Jesus. Okay. And accepting him and following him. But the founder of our company, Art Williams, said this. He said, financial freedom, all right, starts with a big God-sized dream. Massive. Okay. Not a little bitty dream, great big huge dream. Okay. That if God doesn't show up, it's not going to happen. He says it's fueled by the desire to have a huge impact and to leave a legacy. Okay. And this is the key. This is what he said. So some of y'all are on here today. You're new. Some of you have been around a while, and you're going, man, I want to get the key. Okay, this is the key from Art Williams. Okay, the key to financial freedom in Primerica is this: find 7 to 10 key leaders and help them find 7 to 10 key leaders. Everybody on this telecast today, that's what they did. And you go, come on, Randy, it can't be that simple. It's not easy, but it's that simple. Okay. And with our replacement system, you only really have to find 2 to 3. All right. So, but it all begins with belief. Okay. I've said this a million times. Randy and Marcy believed in Jan and I when there was no evidence that they should believe in us. Okay. And that's where it starts. I mean, they believed in us until we could start believing in ourselves. Okay. And the belief is this: if I pay the price, if I go through the numbers, if I take the no's, if I stay positive, I will find 7 to 10 key leaders. I will win, and it will be worth it. Okay. And remember this: you're one recruit away from an explosion. You're one more new teammate away from finding one of those 7 to 10 key leaders. Okay. Brooks and Christina, our son and daughter-in-law, were our explosion. Okay. Brooks going to RVP in April of 19, his 3rd month as a regional vice president, making 37 grand in a month and out earning me, and went over 6 figures his 3rd month as a regional vice president. Man, he breathed belief, okay, into David and Rhonda Gradberg. Okay. And now they're RVPs, promoted in February. David and Rhonda going to RVP breathed belief into Everett and Charlotte Asher, who are now RVPs. Watching them go to RVP breathe belief into Jennifer and Jesse, and they'll qualify for regional vice president this month. Okay. Now we've got Tom and Jenna and Kent and Stephanie and Donnie and Hillary and Tiffany and Dustin that are all fighting to be next. Who's going to be next? Who's going to go RVP now? I mean, they're competing to be next. Okay. One of the things Randy wanted us to talk a little bit about coaching. One of the things we coach is we coach direct double-digit recruiting all the time. Okay. We coach developing qualified field trainers. Okay. People that can carry the ball and run with it. We coach that we are an RVP factory. Okay. We coach Carlos Leon's, you're a decision in 4 months away from regional vice president. We used to say 6 months, to a year, 18 months. Now, I mean, really, it's 4 months away. You say, Randy, how can that be? How can it be a decision of 4 months away to RVP? Because the first month you recruit 10, the second month you and those 10 go get 20, the third month you and those go get 30, and the fourth month you get 40 and you go to RVP. Okay. And some of y'all are going, Randy, I'm just trying to get my first recruit. You're talking about 10, 20, 30, 40 in 4 months. I just trying to get one. Okay. Well, this is how it starts. Your job is to put us in front of your best 3 people. It may take us the first 6 or 7 to find the 3, but we're gonna recruit those 3 for you, and then it's our job and our responsibility to go get 3 for those 3. Now we got 9. When we go get 3 for them, now we got 27. When we go get 3 for them, now we got 81. That's 121 people that we brought into the business. If we just licensed 30 to 40 of them, that's $150,000 to $200,000 a year income for life. Okay. We coach plug into the system and work the system, and then let the system work for you. We want every one of our new teammates saying, I can do this. If you get done with the presentation, they say, man, you're unbelievable. I could never do that. That's not good. We want them getting done and go, that's it? That's all you do? I just plug people into a webinar. I just plug people. Oh man, I can do this. Okay. When they start talking like that, it's going to happen. We coach simplicity and transferability. It's got to be simple. You got to be able to teach other people how to teach other people. We coach that environment is everything. The Gforce environment is absolutely phenomenal. Your environment's got to make you uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable. Okay. If you're comfortable, never going to get where you're supposed to be. Freedom requires you to be uncomfortable for a while, for a time, not forever, so that you can be really comfortable forever. Okay. We coach become an RVP and start promoting RVPs, and in 18 to 24 months, you can have this thing built. Randy just talked about Reggie and Charity. Man, they are phenomenal examples. We got another example right here in Fort Worth, Texas. Jacob and Alice Webb, brand new SNSDs, were the fastest in company history from SVP to NSD. And 18 months ago, they had no RVPs and were making 120 grand a year. Okay. They had nothing going on. Now they have 18 months later, 7 RVPs. They're over 300 grand in income, and they got full ownership. Folks, this can happen in a hurry. It can happen in no time. Team Destiny Movement was going to promote 10 RVPs this year, at least, probably more than that. Why? Because at SNSD, you're going to have a $750 to $1 million a year income. And you're going to get to hear your Heavenly Father say, well done. That's it, Randy. Thanks, man.
Right.
Woo!
I know. But he had a lot of incredible slides. But Randy, I love when people talk about freedom. People, listen to me, folks, in Gforce, people love and desperately want to be set free. Set free spiritually, set free financially, folks. We were born to be free. And so that's really what we're about, fighting for freedom. Thank you so much, Randy.
Awesome.
And now, folks, you bet, here we go. I mean, it's ready, recognition time for, competition time for premium now in our top 25, Marcy. So let's let out future RVPs.
Here we go. So the top 25 future RVPs in Base Shop Premium. Number 25, David and Rhonda Gradberg. Of course, they're RVPs now, we know. Number 24, Sandra Perez. 23, Chad and Tricia Stroud. Number 22, Darlene and Ray Ephraim. Number 21, Cecilia and Joe Goodland. Number 20, Ashley Trejo. Number 19, Marianne and Dave Dean. Number 18, Teresa and Joey Cantu. Number 17, Diane Houston. Number 16, Anthony and Mayra Gayton. Number 15, Joanna and Lizeth Gomez. Number 14, Charlotte and Everett Asher. Number 13, Rico Cones. Number 12, Barbara and Charles Intamoa. And number 11, Marsha Limbrick.
Okay, and all you competitors out there, if you want to know what it took to break into the top 25 over that 3-month period of time, it was $24,000 in premium. So you got to be putting that mark out there for yourself for the next time we do one of these. And to make it in the top 10, we're about to recognize now, you had to do at least for about $43,000 in premium in your base shop. And here they are. Here we go. Number 10, future RVP in premium, Marcus and Shay Wilkins. Number 9, Patty and Memo Gallegos. They're now RVPs. Number 8, Laura Garcia. Number 7, Lauren Garza. Number 6 is Daria Witherspoon. Number 5, Cecilia and Edward Arredondo. And then number 4, we have Todd and Connie Kelly, now RVPs. Number 3, Christian Sanchez. He's vying for that too. Way to go, Christian. And also number 2, we got Kyle and Stella Crowell with $59,000 out of the Yazapovic base. And there's only
number one.
And that number 1 in Base Shop Premium Future Regional Vice President category is with $61,000 out of the Yazapovic team, James and Sarah Hernandez.
There you go, James and Sarah.
Awesome. Hey, listen, Marcia, I got to be reminded too. Y'all, you caught me again. When I introduced Randy Norman, I think you said that he makes 350. He has 350,000 codes. Is that right?
That's what you said.
Well, I know he would probably like to because that would be twice the size of Primerica. But he actually makes over 350,000 a year in cash, not codes. Sorry, team. Go for it. Here we go. RVPs.
Okay, RVPs and up in Base Shop Premium. Number 25, the great NSD, Bob and Rhonda Graham. Number 24, Mario and Taz Hinojosa. Number 23, Calvin and Tiffany Bradshaw. Number 22, James and Marcia Sherrod. Number 21, Hermie and Chris Gamueda. Number 20, Pete and Nellie Tiarina. Number 19, Glenn and Gayleen Soriano. Number 18, Melissa Melissa and Cameron Blue. Number 17, Sandy and Monaco Morales. Number 16, Kobe and Chastity Roberts. Number 15, Luis and Alejandra Meir. Number 14, Carlos Gonzalez and Kayla Gonzalez. Number 13, Eddie and Susanna Barrera. Number 12, Marcy and Randy Godfrey. I put me first.
We're still, oh, you did. Way to go, Marcy. You changed that.
I did. I switched it.
Put your
Number
name
11, Jan and Randy Norman.
Partner prerogative. All right, I love it. Hey, listen, and if you're wondering what it takes to get into that top 25, that was $37,000 in base shop premium last 90 days. To get in the top 10, about to announce them right now, listen to me, about $61,000 change if you're going to compete in the top 10 over the last 90 days. And here they are. Number 10, out of Atlanta, Georgia, Mike and Lisa Chaffin. Number 9, Carlos and Mary Arana. Number 8, Stephen and Lana Newton. Number 7, Laura and Robert Balls. Number 6 is Janicia and Anthony Brooks. Number 5 is Hugo and Maria Sanchez. Number 4 is Angie and Henry Guerra. Number 3, we have RVP Sish and Britt Rimson. And number 2, $1 million earner, unbelievable, killing it in the base. Number 2 with $123,964 in premium, the fabulous SNSD Mark and Sandy Yazapovic. But there is only
Number 1.
and here we go. Number 1 in base shop premium with $142,718 is the great SVP Reggie and Charity Reed. Way to go. Okay, and now y'all ready? Listen to me. I'm going to be introducing them all three at the same time. They're going to be tossing to one another. But right now, first off, you got Sue Rogan out of Calgary. $340,000 last 12 months of cash, not codes.
Yeah, not
and
codes.
3 RVPs. She's going to toss to Angie Guerra, $350,000 last 12 months cash, 4 RVPs. And then Angie's going to toss to Bob Graham, National Sales Director, $730,000 in cash flow and 13 RVPs. You get ready, because here we go. Take it away, Sue.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys might be. Man, hasn't it been powerful, so far with the Gurfeins, and then with the Reeds, and then with Randy Norman, you guys, just some incredible information that they've been sharing with you, sharing from their hearts. And I want to share a little bit with you guys on what we're doing. I'm truly humbled and honored to be on here, and I'm just so grateful to God for having put me in Primerica, because it scares me right now to think about where my life would be if it hadn't been for this company and changing the way that I think. And that's really what I want to share with you guys today. So let's get rocking and rolling here, you guys, on what I want to share with you. And, it's, I really want you to kind of, think about this from a standpoint of, really, how you can design your life, how you really want your life, to look like. And I will let you know that whatever you want, you can absolutely make that happen. So you can absolutely make that happen for you. So listen, you guys, it really kind of starts with this. If you're holding a cup of coffee, and I think this is something that most of us do just about every single day, or we have something, in the morning where we're thinking over what our day is going to be like, and somebody comes along and they bump you, okay? And your coffee spills all over the place. How do you react? See, most people, I think, and this would have been me if I was still nursing, my reactions wouldn't have been exactly positive, right? I would have been the victim. I would have been frustrated. I would have been upset. I would have been really ticked off. And, but what I want to ask you is not really about that, but ask you why you spilt the coffee in the first place, okay? See, most of you would probably say because somebody bumped you, okay? Somebody bumped into me, something negative happened in my life. But really, the reason you spilt the coffee was because that's what you had in your cup. If you had tea in your cup, that's what would have been spilt. If you would have had water, that's what would have been spilt. So really, what's my whole point in this is we are the cup, okay? What is in us? See, I know when I was in my life prior to Primerica, see, my cup wasn't exactly filled with positive things. I wasn't living a blessed life. I was looking at things as a problem, and everything that was happening to me was a negative, right? Then I started, in Primerica on my journey here. And thank you to some amazing mentors like Mark and Sandy and Dennis and Sean and the Godfreys, just, for changing the way that I think and the way that I see things. And then I started seeing things as a blessing, as opposed to something that was negative. See, when I decided that I was going to get off that rat wheel of life, living a life, that would be, it just kind of, week to week just ended up being the same, and, living for the weekends. When I made that decision for that to start happening, my life really changed. And I want you to know is that it can change for you too. Randy talked about, I'm probably giving away the bombshell, but he said, on this call today, he said, on this webinar, he said the average income is $850,000. Okay, we're earning about 350, 380's been our high. And, it really scares me, but, I had to start doing this. I had to start thinking differently. And when I started doing this, living in joy and gratitude and kindness and compassion, is things really started to change for me. We started attracting great people. That's my son. He's my business partner. I never thought that was going to happen when I first started in the business. I was 26. He was a baby at the time. Now I got a grandson. There he is right there. He's traveled the world. He's done some amazing things that would have never happened. And then we got the incredible, Arlene and Ariel there is, part of their stories and attracting great people. 16 months to regional vice president. Yeah, if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. 22 months to a power builder ring wearer, guys, and at the very first convention recognized as MVPs. Their very first convention in the company, they were recognized as MVPs. See, it can happen for you if it happened to them. How about this couple, right here, and this is just some of the team, but, right in the middle there is the Gumera family, you guys, and, went to regional vice president at the very peak, at the very start, not at the peak, sorry, at the very start of, of this pandemic that they call it. And, and just really stayed with it, stayed after it. We're frustrated at times, but really, saw that they could have an opportunity to go out and do something. And you guys, the last 2 months, this couple's been paid $18,000 just in the past 2 months. See if it can happen to them. Why can't it happen to you? Look at this. This isn't to brag on us, but this is to show you the power of the vehicle that you have in Primerica, where you can have multiple sources of income coming in, and you can have recurring income. You can have passive income coming in from what you did 30 years ago coming in today. See, there's been no stress. There's been no worry for us as a family during the pandemic. Guys, that really hasn't been an issue at all during this time. And, thinking 30 to 35,000 a month. I mean, I pinch myself at times to realize how good that this can really be. And then you heard, really this already. You heard Neil talk about this. You come into Primerica and you say, I'm ready. I've got my plan. I'm going to go straight to the top. Nothing's going to stop me. See, that's your plan. Okay. But see, God has a different plan for you, because see, God had a different plan for me. I was skeptical when I first saw Primerica. He had a different plan for me. It was fraught with adversity. I went through a divorce. I was raising two kids as two little kids as a single mom in this business, and scratching and clawing for appointments. I just wanted to be somebody so bad. I wanted to do something special with my life. I didn't want to be average and ordinary. And this company allowed me to do that. But see, it wasn't easy every single day. It wasn't easy all the time. I went through those adversities. You're going to go through some adversities. That's just it. See, when you are ready to do something great, see, God's going to find out how bad do you really want it. There's going to be things that are going to happen that you didn't plan for, right? Like this right here. None of us planned for this virus, okay? None of us. but this virus changed the way we do business. It let us know how nimble we are as a company, how great you are as an individual, how you can just switch gears and you can change things up and you can continue to grow your business no matter what. Social media, online stuff, doing Zooms like this, no idea, no clue. Didn't like that stuff, still don't like that stuff. But you know what? We do what we got to do. But by being bulletproof, you guys, you put yourself in a position where you can make a decision when it comes push to shove, and you can say, you know what? No, you stay home. You make sure you stay home. You look after your son. I'm saying this to my son. You look after my grandson. You make sure that he is homeschooled, so he's not going to go through all the adversity that all the other kids are going to see. He's going to have a stable environment, and he's going to see you're going to have options. I don't know about you, but they've talked about that. Is do you want options? America's going to give you those options, but you got to stick with it. You got to fight. You got to fight through those challenging times. It's not supposed to be easy, you guys, but I'll tell you, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it when you fight through. So when you start changing, you change, instead of why me, why is this happening to me? Change that question. Start asking yourself, what is this meant to teach me? Why am I going through this? Okay, what am I not learning? Okay, you start changing that question, I'll tell you everything in your life will change, and it will change for the better, and you will start making tremendous strides. So what are some of the things you can do? Well, you already heard Neil actually talk about this, is you got to get consistent. Well, what do I get consistent with? Well, you get consistent with plugging in. Whether that be training, whether that be big events like this, whether that be getting onto appointments, you stay plugged in, because that's going to change you from being meek and mild, to being secure, to understanding what you really have a hold of, that you can change lives when you make the decision. See, they talked about being mentally tough. You've got to develop a thick skin. You've got to develop some mental toughness. It's not easy. I will tell you that right now. But see, you have to make the decision that, just like Neil said, they can watch you, they can mock you, they can block you, or they can join you, but they are not going to stop you. Right? If you don't want to be stopped, you just got to keep going, you guys, and understand this. Everybody's growth is going to look different. My growth looked different because you know what? I had to plant a lot of roots because I had very, very shallow roots. I was very insecure. I was unconfident. Didn't know anything about anything. I grew up in southern Alberta, on a farm. I just was not a confident person, but I did know one thing. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to do something special with my life. And then Primerica comes along and it teaches you, all kinds of amazing things. But it made me realize at some point I had to become responsible for my own growth. Like our mentor has said, and I love this, and I still say it every single day, is Primerica is a personal development program with a high compensation package attached to it. That's what I learned from our incredible coaches and leaders, Randy and Marcy Godfrey, you guys. So you get to decide. So you get to decide every single morning, and I hope you think about this every morning when you get up and you're having that cup of coffee, you're thinking about that as your life. Right? Because life provides you the cup. You get to choose what you fill it with. And I hope you choose it to fill it as a victor and not a victim. I pray for you that every single day. And now I want to turn it over to the awesome Angie Guerra.
Hi, how is everybody? Oh my goodness. This show has just been absolutely amazing. Not show, but this event. So good afternoon, Gforce. It's an honor to go after the amazing speakers and leaders that have just come up here today. And I'm going to show my screen just for a little bit. Bear with me. And what is it that I can show that someone else hasn't shown, right? I mean, everybody's just done absolutely amazing. But I want to talk to the new teammates real quickly, you guys. I'm going to keep it real simple, probably something you've already heard, right? To the new teammate, guys, this is an incredible event, and you're getting amazing nuggets this today, right? And guys, look, it's about getting your fast start bonus. If you're a new teammate here, go after your bonus, but you got to know what's in it for you. going after your bonus means that you're going to get trained with the very best. It means that you're going to get a team to work with. It means you're going to make income. Okay. And listen, guys, don't try to change the system. Stick to the system that your RVP is running, because you will get lost. I love the initiative from a lot of teammates, but just stick to the system that the RVP is already teaching you. I can't tell you how crucial that is to your success here. And I want you to stay around long enough to reap the rewards, because the rewards will be amazing, you guys. And so also hold on to whatever moved you when you first said yes to this opportunity. I can remember there were many things that moved me. Like I remember hearing equity. I thought, what is equity? I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know what that was. Now we get equity, right? We get Primerica stock into the company. And look, if it sounds good to you, just go after it and find out what that is, because you get to earn Primerica stock here. How amazing is that, you all? Now, the next thing I want to show you all is this. Okay, give me a second. Okay, the next thing is, if it sounds good to you, just go after it and find out what that is. Okay, so the next thing is this. You want to go ahead and provide training and equipping, right? Be honest with your team. I believe that transparency is important. Tell them where they are. Coach them based on where they are, right? And environment is everything. For us, providing the environment is huge, okay? And let me go ahead and remove this. I apologize. I'm going to stop using these slides, okay? So, y'all, let me tell you something. When I got into this business, I wanted to know everything, but I needed to trust the system. That I needed to just continue to move forward and follow the lead of my upline. Nelly Tijerina told me, you can make it here. And I believed it, because quite frankly, no one had really told me that. No one had really told me that. I apologize. I've got to clear my voice. You know, after my parents, no one had said that to me. And I promise you, for those of you that are brand new, when your RVP tells you that they believe in you, they believe in you. Some of you have a struggle believing in that. Some of you think, oh, they're saying that just to be nice, just to help me feel welcome. No, they believe in you because they see something in you, and you should take it and run with it. You really, really should. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, guys, is that if you know that you can do something here, you got to get after it. People are going to doubt you. They're going to question you. I remember people asking me and telling me, or looking at me in such a way, thinking that it wasn't possible for me to make it here. But listen, this is what I'll tell you. When people told me that I couldn't make it here, when people looked at us, you know, my husband and I are both in this business, right? And they told us that we couldn't make it here in Laredo, Texas. And you know what? We went after it anyway. Because this is what I'll tell you. If someone is doubting you, if someone is telling you that they tried this and it didn't work for them, listen, who are they to know your work ethic? At least that's what I thought. When people told me that, in my mind, I was thinking, you don't know my work ethic. You don't know what I'm capable of. You also absolutely maybe don't know what I'm fighting for, right? And so don't let other people decide for you. Primerica is an incredible company. And Primerica will always come through for you as long as you come through with what you say you're going to do here. We are the best financial services company that there is in America today. We are in the best industry that there is today. Okay, with incredible leadership, with people that believe in you. Don't doubt it. And if you know that you've got the work ethic and you've got the faith, then you go after it. And listen, look, we've got 3 amazing daughters, my husband and I. Okay, 3 amazing daughters. I have a 14-year-old and 11-year-old twins. And you know what? I made a decision along with my husband that we were going to do the trade-offs. I didn't even stop and think about it. We did the trade-offs because we just did. Okay, I think that too many times we think too much and it stops you. We got to stop thinking too much. Yes, I do believe that you've got to give some things some thought. I do believe that you've got to ask questions. As a matter of fact, please ask questions, right? People are here to lead you. But at the same time, don't stop in your tracks thinking and overthinking. Just go do. One of the things that I was going to show in my slides was dream it, ink it, and work it. And I don't mean ink it like a tattoo, okay? I mean ink it like write it on paper and let's get to work. I think too many times we question everything. right? We're wondering if this is going to work. We're wondering if this is right for me. Listen, you already said yes. You're already here. What are we waiting for? And I think you got to be ready to do the trade-offs. When we started with this opportunity, our daughter was 1.5 years old. She's 14 years old today. And we didn't have our twins yet. I had an 8-to-5 job. There was no Zoom, of course, right? And so for me to go to an appointment meant that I had to leave our babies behind with my husband. My husband was a federal agent for 12 years. And you know what? Before we walked out the door, once we started working together, we had already paid someone to babysit our children, probably $60, $70 before we were even out the door. How many of you are doing that? How many of you are doing the trade-offs? Have you ever paid your office before you paid the mortgage? Because you just believed in this thing so much and you know that that is your ticket to freedom. So you gotta believe in this thing. All I know is that no one was offering us anything better. No one was giving us a ticket to freedom. And everybody that did have something to say outside of Primerica, guess what? They weren't happy going to their job. They weren't celebrating that they were going to work with people that they were excited to be around by, right? They weren't dreaming big. You know, when you go to work and people are talking, usually it's someone complaining, and by the time you know it, you're in a pity party. I don't want to be part of the pity party. I want to be part of the winning party, right? So for those of you that still have a job and you one day want to be full-time here, listen, I encourage you. I encourage you to feed yourself something good. Call your RVP before you go into work. You know, call your RVP after you go to work, right? Feed yourself good things, guys, because it's so easy to get rubbed off with the wrong people. I love the Primerica environment. Why? Because it's about people winning. It's about people believing in you. And I believe that we got to protect ourselves. Okay, you've got to make sure that you protect what goes into your mind and get into the environment. We're huge on environment. I know that if you're not coming around to your RVP, if you're not staying plugged in, if you're not running the system, if you're not showing up to the next big event, listen, you're going to miss it. You're already here. Everything that has been shared here today has been absolutely amazing. We spoke a few weeks to Hugo and Maria Sanchez, right? And they said, Andrew, what do you do after an event? He said, when you get home, what would you do? And my answer to that was, well, first of all, we don't wait until we get home. When I went to a Woman in Primerica in Dallas, Texas, that's about 4 or 5 hours away. By the time we got to Laredo, Margie and I, which was my replacement, had already made the phone calls, booked a hotel meeting room. We had already planned an entire agenda. We had already called our upline, and we put together an entire event just from Dallas to Laredo because we were so inspired. See, we didn't wait until we got home. And so this event right here, I don't think people should wait until they get home. I think people should make the phone calls already as soon as you're done, because you're already here. Let's go ahead and work it. This is when the fire is in you. This is when something has been inspired in you. Make the call and call that person that you've been holding off on. It's probably the person that might explode your business today. I promise you that. So let's make the phone calls, guys. These events are incredible. Don't think anymore. Let's just get the work done. Make the phone calls, guys, and let's have an amazing rest of 2021. Thank you so much, Randy, and all of Gforce. You all are amazing. I want to thank my husband, my daughters, our incredible Team Believe Nation, and our RVPs. You guys are absolutely amazing. And then, of course, our Father God, we wouldn't be here without our faith, you guys. So thank you all so much. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over, okay, to the great Bob Graham. Take it over. Thank you. Be here without our faith, you guys. So thank you all so much. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over, okay, to the great Bob Graham. Take it over. Thank you.
Hey guys, is that ever incredible? What an awesome job. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. I'm fired up. Gurfein's was off the chain. I tell you what, Randy, every time you guys have this event, it gets better and better. I'm so excited today. Just thank the leadership from Randy on down. Man, it just 28 years. It seems like yesterday, us and the Gonzaleses were competing. We're up in a room in Atlanta, Georgia with Godfrey saying, someday, Bob, you and Rhonda can make $8,000 a month. And I'm thinking, there's no way. And we had a great month, but we were only making $2,000, $4,000 a month. You know, so I want to thank the leadership, but I also got to thank our incredible regional vice president, our incredible base shop for the last 28 years. We've been putting it up. We're so blessed, you know, and this weekend's a long weekend in Calgary, in Alberta and Canada, and everybody goes camping in the snow. Hey, there's nowhere I'd rather be than here and fired up talking about winning in life. And I think we got a responsibility for our people to help them win, to help them go forward and to go win, just like Randy and the Viance and the others publics helped us. Guys, we got to go help them win. You know, in the office here, I see, you know, Sergio and Tom and Neil and, you know, Jamie. These guys deserve a chance to get the regional vice president, senior vice president, start making the incomes like you hear. You know, so 1,000 people plus 2,000 people here today. And I feel so honored and privileged. It's not because of me. It's because of our incredible team and following the system and loving this thing for the last 28 years. Just like you could feel through the Gurfeins go, that's unbelievable, right? But look at $2 million a year. He was more excited the day he started to today because it never changes, you know? So I believe that I give hope. Okay, that if I can do it, anybody can do it. You know, and I go, because, you know, I show up with the Yazapovics, the Godfreys, the Vines, and go, where do I fit in? But if they can do it, if I just keep following what they do, maybe someday. So I'm here today to talk to the ones that are frustrated, maybe losing hope, maybe losing. I'm going to see if I can go to the slides here, share screen. There we go. Awesome. Go here. Okay, let's get it rolling. Okay, those of you that, you know, maybe have lost hope. I don't care if you're brand new, haven't got your license, maybe failed your license, or you've been around for years and it just haven't broke for you. Regardless of where you are, why don't you just go win anyways? Okay, first of all, I want to congratulate everybody that's given it their best in the pandemic. 28 years, there's no way we could ever predicted or figured out something like this would hit us all, right or wrong. So for those of you that continue to try, you're going to have an incredible life because eventually it's going to get better. And every day I feel blessed and go, man, can you imagine if you had another business? I don't care if it's friggin' hair salon, a restaurant, a bar, they're closing down, they're going bankrupt, and our company continues to move forward. You got to think like that every day. Thank God you don't have a business. We're all mad we can't go out for dinner. Man, can you imagine if you owned that restaurant? We own this. And this is able to explode through the pandemic. So keep trying. Keep understanding, keep focused on the future, keep trying to get better every day. You know, don't go camping in the snow. Okay, thank God that wasn't me when I bumped into this company. See, I wanted to win. Do you? There's the question. You know, let's go back. Do you want to win? How bad does it keep you up at night? You can tell 28 years later, Gurfein still want to win. It's not about the money. There comes a time when you got enough. Do you want to get to the next level? Do you want to have people know that you're still in the game and you're on the team? Okay, a lot of teammates didn't show up this week because of the long weekend. They ain't going to win in life. Do you want to be financially independent? It'll be 1,000 times better than you ever dreamed of. Okay, put the time and energy in on the weekend, on Sundays, on long weekends. If you don't put the energy in, you ain't getting it back. Neil, how old are you? 24 years old. I started when I was 27. That means 30 years later, if he's still here, he's going to be worth millions, right or right? If he ain't here, he's going to be broke. It's that simple. Well, it's tough. Well, so's life. It's up to him. See, but I'll still be here, a little older, a little grayer, a little bolder. Okay, you got to stay focused on your goals. The company's going to win, but are you? You got to get your partner involved. Thank God Rhonda, you know, got involved with me early on. You know, they said, well, he's got a lot of growing, but at least he's got her. Okay, maybe they got a shot. You know, does that make sense? But I showed up to everything. Do you? We got incredible regional leaders. We got incredible people on our team, but they don't show up to everything. And that's the missing ingredient. You've heard it today. And Gurfein's talking about mentally tough. Man, you know what I learned today? Appreciate the good times in the business, but appreciate the bad times, and they're coming, but they'll teach you lessons. And the excuses. Thank you, Tammy, for that. I learn every day. Excuses only sound good to the people that are saying them. And how many are you good for? And you actually think people are listening to them? No, they're just like, man, they're feeling sorry for you when you're telling them. Okay? I tell you what, I heard this, and it is. It's true. We haven't arrived, but coming from where I come from, yeah, we have. It's 1,000 times better than you ever dreamed. Okay, you have a shot here too, just like all the speakers, just like all the ones after the million, to be financially independent, to have a purpose in your life. Man, just to learn about money. It doesn't matter the money you make, it's how much you keep. Well, my son and I were on appointment. That was the coolest thing ever the other night, right? Showed up here, student, broke, my son and I. And the guy makes $750,000, but his finances were a mess. But what you learn here is unbelievable. We are allowed to change lives every day. What greater purpose can you have? I bought into this from the Vines. It's 3 to 5 years to build a business. That meant 7 days a week. I'm in. You? No, I'm taking tomorrow off. Then you're not ready. 7 to 10 years to be stone wealthy. I bought into that. That's how simple it is. If you aren't an RVP yet, go get 6 directs. That's all it is. Well, how do I get them? You got to get excited like Gurfein. You got to light yourself on fire. It has nothing to do with how good our company is day by you. Well, you know, I'm still studying. That crap don't fire up people. You got to get them believing in themselves, okay? And then you got to talk to them, not about working for you, about getting their own. We talked to the McCreases. We talked to all our RVPs about, man, it's going to be so cool someday. I used to see yes, put that up, go, looks good for him making 400,000, but that'll never happen to me. But the longer you're here, you start to understand, yeah, I can. It's unbelievable. There's where we come from. The reason I show you this, because we all start the same way, just like you heard the Gurfeins. Most of us showed up here broke, but we still had a little bit of hope inside. Okay, I had debt collectors chase me, living at my girlfriend's house because I'm so freaking broke. I don't know what to do. Never believed I could do this because I was a minor. This is what you need to focus on. This is when you got to be at your best that year, your first year, when things ain't going right, when the money's tight and you can't pay the bills. And that's your story that you're going to tell for the rest of your life. I made $27,000 my first year. Could have made $60 doing income tax. Probably could have made more on unemployment, but decided to build a business here because they do what's right. And last night, what perfect time to have this meeting, we got paid $29,000 last night. Oh my God, $27,000 for the year, 29 grand last night. This thing will change your life forever if you continue to show up. So I'll give you a couple quick points. Okay, you must be willing to do the work. The only reason you're frustrated, you want the goals, but you ain't doing the work. Set a goal that'll move you. For me, it was RVP, just all Mark's RVPs. It looked like they had it going on, winning all the trips, making all the money. I go, God, I got to get to RVP. Get mentally tough. You know, challenge yourself to grow. Okay, get some new directs. You are controlling your front line, nobody else. It ain't your upline's fault. It's not Primerica. It's not the pandemic. It's not COVID. It's you. It's not your spouse. It's you. Okay, you got to get figured out on this. The other day, we talked about this. Experience is the key to greatness. Taking my son on an appointment. The only way he learns is by doing it. My daughter, Brittany, getting her license right now, right? Because lockdown again. So she goes, Dad, I can't go to work. Might as well get my license. Absolutely. I believe lockdown happened for a reason. We spent more time with our family this year than ever before. Had a blast. Look for the positives in every negative situation. Keep it simple. I believe that was our secret to greatness. All we do is buy term, invest the difference. We sell a lot of term. We do a lot of investments. What about those other products? I don't know. BTID. Okay. Hey, that's how art started, right? When you get your own office, you can do those other products, but we're doing buy term, invest the difference. No matter where you're at, what level that, cast a vision how great it's going to be. Get them out 3 to 5 years down the road. Personal responsibility. And I tell you what, you're going to say, yeah, but is it worth it showing up every Saturday, every Sunday night, go, 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 28 years, you're still working? Yeah, it ain't work. Man, I know this isn't like the big hitters in the company. I know I'm not $1 million, but it's pretty good coming where I come from. Getting paid $60,000, $70,000 every month, 60, 70 times, getting paid every night. We got incredible RVPs. Yeah, we got to double them up. Absolutely. I'm still in the game for the next 10 years. Are you? It's going to be awesome. But we had a blast the last 28 years. I'd never been on a plane before I started this company. The reason we share this, you can go win too. Man, my kids are glad that I didn't have excuses like everybody else and just showed up to work. Man, my kids are glad that I showed up to Saturday training, didn't sit at home and sleep. Man, my kids are glad that I showed up every Sunday night to Sunday night phone blitz because I needed to for them. No, I got to stay home and have dinner for them. No, I need to go win for them. So do you. I love playing hockey, man. Oh man, I love it more than watching hockey. I want to play it, but playing with my son is an absolute dream, man. I don't know what drives you, traveling the world, man. I'm a simple guy. I don't need much. I don't buy new cars. I don't buy a $300 hockey stick. I buy a $30 one. But being financially independent is awesome. You have a story that deserves to be told, but you can't tell it if you quit. You can't tell it if you don't go win. You got to go win big for your family. And then why don't you get up here and say, here's where I was, here's where I am now. Life's great. Proud to be your teammate. I'll send it back to Randy. You guys are awesome.
Oh. Man,
awesome.
I mean, Marcy, this is getting better.
Everybody's
building on top of each other. So real quick, I just want to, we had Norman, blew it out of the water, then Sue and Angie, Bob. Man, I'm so grateful for Gforce, aren't you?
We have amazing leadership on this team.
Big time. And so now it's time to recognize
to go to the next
our securities
category.
Producers,
Yep.
future
so we're
RVPs.
going to start with our future RVPs, top 25. Of course, the partner of our great Sue Rogan, we just heard from, her son Jared, regional leader, is number 25. Number 24. Senior Regional Leader Teresa and Joey Cantu. Number 23, Jose and Kristen Mandolano. Number 22, Robert and Samantha Demaderos. Number 21, Manuel and Stephanie Noel. Number 20, Alan and Dawn Ackroyd. Number 19, Brad and Cambria Williamson. Number 18, Peter Decker and Rosa Decker. Number 17, Lance and Kathleen Lavallee. Number 16, Lynn Denny. Number 15, Franklin McKnight. Number 14, Antonina and Miron Kim. Number 13, Trinity Penny, daughter of our great $1 million earner Mark Penny. Awesome. Number 12, Mike and Shelly Davidson. Number 11, David Coey.
All right, top 10, real quick. You competitors are listening. To break into the top 25, you had to do 475,000 to break into the top 25. To break in top 10, you had basically, it's $1 million, okay? It was 924,000 to break into the top 10. You think $1 million over the next 90 days, you got a shot. No guarantees, but you got a shot. And here they are. These are future RVPs, not RVPs, right? Number 10, Dennis and Gail Grant. Number 9 is Louis and Bertha Gonzaba. Number 8 is Joe and Christine Rojas. Number 7 is Andrea and Aaron Glazier. Number 6, Dean Peruzzi and Kathy Tang. Number 5 is Shelley and Trevor Fleury. Number 4, Michael and Jackie Archimede. Number 3 is Graham and June Johnson. Number 2, Jennifer Hess. And there's only
Number one.
Boom. And number 1, listen to this, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I got to tell her right now, I got my workout in this morning, Marianne. Number 1 in all of Gforce International with 1,452,000 in securities invested. The great Marianne and Dave Dean, numero uno. Way to go, y'all. All right, Marcy, let's hit it. Now we're in the big leagues here, RVPs.
Now we have RVP and up, top 25 in total securities. RVP, number 25, Charles and Angela King. 24, Hugo and Maria Sanchez. Number 23, Scott and Georgia Godfrey.
Woo.
Number 22, Rick and Stephanie Fong. Number 21, Holly and Katan Chipwadia. Number
You did that
I
good,
did
Marcy.
good.
You
Okay,
did good.
Number 20, Roy and Janice Kern. Number 19, Kobe and Chastity Roberts. Number 18, Michael and Catherine Kofer. Number 17, Steve and Robin Bentic. Number 16, Clive and Debbie Wilkins. Number 15, Daryl and Laura Stephenson. Number 14, Majid and Nada Dabla. Number 13, Sue and Jared Rogan. Number 12, Marion Lintick and Brittany Toe. Number 11, Kylie Robinette and Christy Hopkins.
And if you're an RVP and you like to compete to get in the top 25, you know what it took this time? 1.7 million. Okay, over 90 days to get in the top 25. To get in the top 10, listen to this, 2.5 million to make it in the top 10. And here they are. Number 10 is Pete and Nellie Tiarina. Number 9, Mike and Jolene McCreesh. Number 8, Brad and Sally Cadlack. Number 7, Randy and Jan Norman. Number 6 is Johnny and Nicole Birchfield. Number 5 is Charles and Lori Calloway. Number 4 is Rebecca and Russell Rhodes. And then we got at number 3, Michael and Marnie Langrell. And then number 2, you just heard from him with 4.7 million, the great NSD Bob and Rhonda Graham. And there's only
number one.
You see him up here all the time. Listen to this. 5,141,000 in investment securities volume. The great SVP from San Antonio, Texas, David and Vanessa Lipson. Boom. All right. Marcy, man, we got, hey, everybody, you listen up now, okay? Here we go. We are rounding third, heading home, and listen to the group we got coming at you right now. It's huge, okay? We got Carlos Gonzalez, $950,000 earner, 35 RVPs. He's coming at you first. He's tossing the $1 million earner, Brian Mayman, with 18 RVPs. He's gonna come at you right after Carlos, and then after Mayman, he's tossing it to Dennis Bryant, $1 million earner, Circle of Champions, $1.3 million earners with 89 RVPs. Folks, this segment is gonna rock you, I promise you. So let's start it off with our future $1 million earner, the great Carlos Gonzalez. It's all yours, buddy.
All right. Hey, can y'all hear me okay? Awesome, guys. Hey, first of all, guys, Neil and Victoria tore it up. I took tons of notes. All the speakers have been amazing. So I'm so excited for everybody here, especially all the new people. You know, Suzanne, you've been here a while, probably, right? I've been here a few decades. Dennis has been here a little bit, and this is not for us, folks. We're already fired up. We're already ignited. Don't get me wrong. I'm more ignited now than I was before, but this is really for the new people. Let me share with you why, okay? Number 1, okay? My first year in Primerica, I was thinking about this the other day. I only got 2 people licensed my first year, life license. It was harder back then, but whatever, right? Only had to recruit, I think 11 or 13 people the whole year. That's like a little over 1 a month, right? Now we're getting like 40 to 50 people licensed a month in our hierarchy, right? So this is my point. Never look at your future based on the past, because the past doesn't matter. The past is in your mind. The future, however, is in your hands. Let me make sure and repeat that again. The past is in your mind, okay? The future is in your hands, right? So don't worry about the past. Let's look at where we're headed, right? A couple of things really quick. I want to make sure and talk about this, right? You know, Randy has mentioned this. I've read this before. I've heard many speakers talk about this. They talk about a high tide raises all boats. Listen to me again. We've heard it before. Even before Primerica, I've heard this before. I didn't even understand what it meant, you know, really, because I was never a business owner, right? Never in Primerica. But a high tide raises all boats. If you're sitting here and listening to me, every time I hear it, it sounds great. Really? And you get excited in your seat. Yes. This is the problem, folks. This is the problem that, this is the missing part of that phrase. See, the catch, there's a catch. There is a catch. The catch is your boat has to be in the water. What does that mean? See, it doesn't matter if Marcus Apovic wins. It doesn't matter if Dennis Valiant wins or if Suzanne wins or if Reggie Reed wins or if I win. You know what matters is if you win, but you've got to put your boat in the water. So let's identify, what does that mean? Well, Carlos, okay, I'm new here. I've been here 6 months. I've been here 6 years. I got nothing going. How do I get my boat in the water? Very simple. You ready? Number one, here we go. Okay. Number one, get your licenses. Quit procrastinating. I've been, in the last 45 days, I've recruited 7 directs and 5 already got licensed. The other one takes it next Wednesday. The other one takes it next Tuesday. I'll have 7 direct licensed people that I've recruited. Every single one I've recruited, they're getting licensed, right? Because I tell them what to do and they're coachable, okay? They're coachable, not chokeable, okay? So get your license. That's what it means to put your boat in the water, right? Get your license, right? If you don't even have your licenses, how can you get your boat in the water? You can't, right? Number 2, get your next promotion. I don't care if it's district or senior rep or division or regional or RVP or SVP or NSD or SNSD. I don't care. Go for your next promotion. Quit procrastinating. It's how long have you been chasing your promotion? I know people in my base shop. I don't know about everybody else in my base. Have been going for division for like 5 years. Dude, it's time to just make a decision. Okay, it takes 30 days to get a promotion as soon as you decide to do it. But you gotta make a decision. What else does it mean to get your boat in the water? Okay, how about make some money? You know, Art Williams said, he says there's no excuse to be in Primerica and not make money. Let me repeat that again. Art Williams, the founder, said there is no excuse to be in this great company doing what we do for our clientele, life insurance, IRAs, rollovers, everything we got, right? There's no excuse for not making money. So go make some dadgum money. Maybe the reason why you're not recruiting people, you know, is they see you like you still live in Brokeville. You need to stop being in Brokeville. Go make some money, and they'll see by your eyes that you're making money. You can see the confidence and the competence. And guess what? You're going to attract good people. It's called law of attraction. You attract who you are, not who you want. Let me repeat that again, okay? I know it's hard to believe. I know it's I tell you what's the catch. You attract who you are, not who you want, okay? So become it. That's called leadership, right? Well, how else do you get your boat in the water? Pushing up people. Folks, push up people. Art Williams wrote a book on it. It's called Pushing Up People. If you don't know what that means, it's encourage others, right? Lead others. Help others, be empathetic with others, not cry with them. I'm talking about show them solutions. I don't feel sympathy for anybody. I do feel empathy for everybody. Let me repeat that again. I don't sympathize. That means I feel sorry for you. I feel so sorry for you. I'm not that kind of guy. Okay. Now empathy, yes. Hey, listen, I know you went through some tough times. Let's fix it. What can we do to fix it? What can I do to help you fix it? Right. That's what leaders do, right? Let's see here real quick. So who am I pushing up right now? I'm blessed. I'm working with a young girl named Delilah, right? Single mom, 3 kids. She got licensed in the last 60 days. Joe De Leon out in La Feria, right? And Delilah's in Mission, right? They're 5 hours away from me, right? Joe De Leon got licensed in 3 days from coming on board, right? I'm working with Mario Montalvo. I'm working with Joanne Hernandez, all licensed. I'm working with Victor Montes, right? Makes already 6 figures in his current job, but decided he wanted to give this a shot, and he's got licensed with me, right? All these people are licensed, right? Every single person, right? I'm working with Selena Jorge, also in Mission, got licensed, folks. I'm working with April in New Mexico, taking her test next week. Marcos Jorge, taking his test next Wednesday. I'm pushing up people every chance I get. I believe in you. You're amazing. You can do this. You're going to be phenomenal. Folks, let's not forget what they did for us. When I came in, my incredible upline, Jim Spillane, you know, God rest his soul, right? He passed away a few years ago. He always told me that I was his #1 guy. Always. And I hate to say this word, I sucked, okay? I was terrible. I was afraid of the phone. See, when I grew up in this business, there was no texting. There was no emailing. There was no internet. I actually had to physically call someone. I used to get scared and choked up. I would hang up the phone after one ring. You know, I make the call. No, you didn't. You didn't. You hung up before they picked it up. I was afraid of the nose. And so I had to become a man in Primerica. And it was hard. I had to grow up. See, growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. Let me repeat that again. Growing old is mandatory, but growing up here in Primerica is optional. Which option are you going to choose? You got to grow up. No one's going to make the calls for you. No one's going to make the text for you. No one's going to take your test for you. No one's going to go for that promotion for you. You've got to grow up and make it happen, folks. I mean, it's bottom line, right? I read this book, beautiful book. It says, pray like it depends on God, but work like it depends on you. See, I'm a believer. I love the Lord. I wouldn't be here without him, okay? Everything I have, I'm about to go over 1 million this month or next month, right? Working hard at it, right? I'm not in the sideline, man. I'm in the game. I'm getting people licensed. I have 2 closes on Sunday night, right? I've got recruiting going. I just did about 1 million in investments in the last, it hasn't hit yet, but in the last 5 days, right? Why? Because I'm going for my $1 million ring so I can get out of the way and go to the 2 million, right? And I got to go through 1 before you get to 2. Very simple, right? Folks, I'm not waiting for God to do it for me. I pray to him every night. I thank my blessings. I appreciate everything he's done for me. And I believe that prayer definitely is everything. But guess what he wants us to do? He wants us to back it up. Show me you want it. Go work. Make it happen, right? Last thing, I'm just going to share with you my slides really quick so I can share my screen, okay? This will be quick, I promise you, but it's effective. Let me just get to it real quick. Oh, I missed it. Hold on. There it is. Can y'all see that really quick? Just give me a nod or whatever, okay? So this is the way it works in business, okay? You go to business school. I don't have a degree in business, folks. I have a degree in pharmacy. I can tell you what to take if you got strep throat or upper respiratory infection, if you got a fungus in your toenail or fungus in your foot. I can tell you what to take for back pain. I can tell you what to take for urinary tract infection. I can tell you what to take for everything, right? For insomnia, for a bellyache, all that stuff. I know everything, but I didn't go to school for business. See, if you go to school for business, this is what they tell you. They tell you if you start a business, this is the way you become successful from A to B. Folks, that's the most false thing that has ever been told, okay? Success never, ever, ever happens this way. The reason why most people quit Primerica or any business is they think that if it's supposed to go like this and they have a setback, they're not cut out for this. That is so untrue, okay? Hold on, let me go to the next slide. So this is exactly the way success works, at least in Primerica for sure. You get all excited, you go through 4 phases, right? Let's go to the first phase. Phase 1, the honeymoon stage. Man, when I saw Primerica, man, I couldn't believe how incredible this company was, just like I'm sure you all saw. It looked too good to be true. See, I never thought that, because to be a pharmacist, you have to go to college for 5 years. Now it's 6 years. You have to get a degree. You got to pass a state exam, which I did, right? So I knew this was licensing. I knew it wasn't easy. I never thought it was too good to be true, but I just thought it was doable. Man, this is doable, right? And so the honeymoon stage, oh man, I got this. I'm gonna rock it and roll and whatever, right? Then guess what happens? Phase 2, culture shock. Oh my gosh, everyone's telling me no. No one's I can't close anything. I can't even close the door. Man, no one wants to follow me. Where are all the people out there like me that want to win? See, Mary and I used to say that, right? Man, where are the people like us in the city of Austin? We couldn't find any for a while, folks. We couldn't find any, right? And you start thinking about, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I should quit. No, not at all. I like what Neil talked about. It's good that you go through adversity. Adversity reveals your character. He didn't say it like that, but I'm saying it like that. Adversity, you have to go through adversity to become successful, but adversity does not build character, it reveals it. See, if you quit, you don't have any freaking backbone or character, right? Next phase, I'm almost done. Phase 3 is a learning stage. All of a sudden you make a decision that come heck or high water, you're gonna get this thing going no matter what. And all those people that told me, like they told you, this will never work, it's pie in the sky, it's a pyramid thing, that'll never happen, whatever they told you. You know, I'm an introvert, never been in sales, whatever. Those are all lies from down under. Yeah, Satan, he's a master of lies and deception. He wants to keep us down. Why? Because if we're down, folks, he can get to our kids. He can get to our spouse, he can get to our friends, right? So all of a sudden, folks, you know what you need to do? See, it's not hocus pocus to be successful. It's focus. Again, it's not hocus pocus to be successful. It's focus. You gotta learn what you gotta learn, folks. Okay, learn something. Read a book. Get better. Ask questions, talk to your upline, connect with your upline. He or she is your lifeline. So now you're starting to read and you start working really good. All of a sudden your closing techniques are working, your communication skills are off the chart. You're in the learning phase, you start to see some results. And then the last stage, folks, the effective stage. Everything you touch turns to gold. In phase 2, right? The shocking stage, the culture shock, everything you touch turns to crap. See, in phase 2, we all gotta go through it. Everything you touch turns to crap. But in the 4th stage, the effective stage, everything you touch turns to gold. Man, you're recruiting people you didn't even want to recruit. You're closing things you didn't think you could close because it's become a natural. In Primerica, it takes about 5 years to become a natural. And as I close with this, okay, some of you guys are right here right now. Congratulations. I want to let you know there's more crap. There's crap coming. If you're right here in phase 2 and you're going through crap right now, I got news for you. You're going to go, if you stick around, if you're tough enough, if you're mentally tough, right, you're going to start going through the learning curve. Everything we tell you, it does work. You just have to apply it. And all of a sudden, when you get to the effective stage, to Bob Graham, one of my good friends, my best friend up in Canada, right? You look at Dennis Vaillant, the guy I'm about to introduce, Brian Mayman, of course, Randy Godfrey, Randy Norman, I could go on, right? All of a sudden, y'all think it was easy, and it wasn't easy, folks. It was not easy. How do I don't know how to unclick here. Hold on, let me see. How do I see? Oh yeah, I know how to do it now. Okay, good. Guys, I want to wrap up here. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm talking to the new people right now that might be hurting right now. You're going through something. Guess what? I got news for you. Dennis Vaillant's going through something right now. Brian Bateman's going. We're all going. As long as you're breathing, folks, you're going through something. The good news is in Primerica, as you're going through something, you also have a great company and great friendships, right? So listen, folks, I get the pleasure of introducing one of my heroes, man. This guy, Brian Mayman, we've never really talked a lot. This company's so amazingly big. But Brian, listen, man, I've watched you from afar. You're an amazing leader. I love your energy, your vibes, the law of attraction, man. You got it going. I'm not just saying that to tell you that. I promise you, man. You guys do not want to miss this guy, folks. $1 million earner, and he doesn't know it, but we're friends because when he talks, he's like he's talking to me only. Okay, they're incredible. Brian Mayman.
Hey, thanks, Carlos. I appreciate it like crazy. I do remember it like yesterday being down there at your event, and I was exhausted simply because of all the energy you carry. And love you, brother. Appreciate you, all your leadership, and God bless Texas and all you've done. So anyway, we first of all, this has been an amazing event. I never would have thought in all of my years that I would be able to sit in front of a 72-inch high-def TV in my lower level and watch Dennis Vaillant rip it. So, or Carlos Gonzalez. So, you know what? God bless COVID. I've actually enjoyed it. I've been having an iced tea, loving life. And Yaz and Dennis and Godfrey, these chairs are a ship ton better than the cruddy ones you used to have us sitting in your office and I'm sitting in today. I just want to tell you, I've enjoyed the day. Okay. So anyway, you guys done all the speakers, amazing job. Just totally crazy. Bob Graham, love hearing from you, brother. Miss everybody with all this. We just had 100 people out here in Spearfish, South Dakota. As a kid growing up, all I wanted to do was hunt and fish and trap. And thank God for this company because it's allowed me to do that. My future after high school was going to be to either play football in college or move to Alaska. Then I met Lindley. She ruined both of those things and saved my butt. So anyway, and here we are today. But one thing I want you to for sure understand that I've heard all the speakers today talk about is what this can deliver for you and your family as you're building your family. And I know it sounds cliche-ish, but God, family, and business. And what I figured out, it wasn't God, then family, then business. What we figured out is if we involve God and family in our business, we never had to separate any of them. And I learned that from the Godfreys and from the Vaillants and the Yazapovics and all the great leaders on this call. But they were who we were witnessing having great success. They were the ones that we were watching grow. And we said, you know what, if we did that, if we were like that, if we engaged in that, and it literally was just learning to parrot what they were doing and emulate that, and you can have yours. But we just had 100 folks out here, and the first time since COVID, and we just got in a room and really did a curriculum and talking about becoming a branch manager, talking about becoming a regional vice president. And when I got started and went to our first big event, which was Dennis and Sean's, they had to trick me to speak. Noel Erickson told me that I was, he told Dennis I wouldn't speak because I hadn't even met Dennis and Sean. I'd met Sean before, but I'd never met Dennis. And Noel, I told Noel, I'll do whatever you want me to do, but I'm not public speaking because I'm an introvert by nature. My worst fear in life was public speaking. And so here I win this contest. I go meet Dennis and Sean, and I get the right to speak. And they tell me I win a pen. And, I was like, good, that's cool. I love pens. I journaled every day. So I was like, I got this new pen. And then Noel says, yeah, you got this new pen and you get to write your speech tomorrow with it. And I'm like, what the, are you, there, no way. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. And, I was freaking out, scared to death, couldn't believe I was doing this, totally a world away. Then I win a contest. I meet Yazapovic the first time. I meet, and I was just blown away because we flew the first time I'd ever flown on a plane, just like Bob Graham. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, with Dennis and Sean and Noel and Pat, and we went down to see the Godfreys. They had Art Williams coming in, and we were going to go see Art Williams. Then we were going to the Birmingham Barracudas. We went to Ed Randall's mansion. We did all this stuff. I grew up rural Route 3, Waverly, Iowa, butt scratch nowhere. I knew Sean because the Grosses and us lived a mile apart growing up. But that was my exposure to culture. And then here we were in Georgia, Atlanta, and I was like, are you kidding me? What am I doing? I met Carlos Gonzalez. I met Ed Spillane. I met I met Randy Norman. I met all the greats in this hierarchy, right? And I was just inspired. Lindley and I were blown away. Lindley showed me a picture the other day of us standing on the 50-yard line in the Birmingham Barracudas. And I looked like somebody just peed in my cornflakes. I had this growling, ugly look on my face. And Lindley's like, we're here. And I what I'm trying to get across to you is that if you're sitting there today and you're that dude or you're that dudette that's sitting there going, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is for me or not. These guys get on here and they're excited and they're jumping up and down. They're telling me I can make this happen in leadership and all that. And if you're sitting there as intimidated as I was, I want you to know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, there's a place here for you. There's a place here for you to grow your business and to become somebody. And as sure as we sat in that room in Birmingham, or in that press box in Birmingham, Alabama, and I looked out on that football field going, you know what am I doing here? Over the next several years, I learned to compete and not compare myself to others, but compete by comparing myself to their efforts. And if they were giving that effort, then maybe I should look at giving a bigger effort, and I could go get what I needed to go get. And it was an amazing, amazing, amazing journey, and it has been one. And it's one right now. We're engaged in building a base shop, and we do a morning huddle 4 or 5 days a week right now. My boys, both Lily and I's boys, are grown up, and both of them are off doing their own thing, run their own business, getting one's finished in college, one's done with college. And my oldest son, I have to tell you, he actually bought a butcher shop. And so those of you that don't know my story, that's what I went to school for. I was a butcher. When I met Dennis and Sean Viant and Noel and Pat Erickson, I was a butcher. Okay. Literally the guy behind the meat case with a apron on with blood on it, giving grandma and mom their Sunday dinner or their Saturday steak, the grill outs. That's what I did. So if I can do this, you can make this work. If Lindley and I could make this happen, you can make this happen. So I adopted a few things. Number one was I figured out that there was 3 C's for success. I wrote them down. I put them everywhere. I went to this Canadian author. Dennis was always engaged in with all these Canadians, go figure, eh? But it was a guy by the name of Robin Sharma. He wrote a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And then he wrote a couple others after that. And I read them both. but I was sitting in one of his meetings and he was waving around a $50 bill. And I was so broke, I grabbed the $50 bill. And that $50 bill became one of my signature talks in Primerica. When I was traveling all over, I'd take money out and say, you know what this is? And people would go, no, 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 no. And eventually somebody would grab it. Well, I grabbed that $50 bill that day. I went home and that was the only $50 I had to my name. And I just spent $100 to be in that seminar. I went home, give the $50 to Lindley. And she said, we're going to hang on to this $50. We're never going to spend this $50. And Lindley always, every time I came back from something, she would always ask, so what'd you learn? What would you like best? What was the most impactful and what'd you learn? And there was 3 C's I wrote down that day, and they changed my life forever. And it was competence, confidence, and compensation. If I could become competent at delivering the presentation, if I could just become competent at communicating what we did from a financial services perspective, the recruiting opportunity, the recruitment opportunity, who we were as a company, how we delivered ourselves, what our growth objective is, what the team of destiny was, what because we were so close to the Ozapovics, what the Fanatics were, who they were, what these organizations stood for, and that someday Lindley and I were going to have our own organization. Someday we were going to be $1 million earners ourselves. And all we did is came back and we taught people competence, confidence, and compensation. The more competent I became, the better I was at asking, the better I was at all that stuff, the more confidence I carried myself with, and the more compensation I made. It was a simple formula. It was CCC. CC me, please. Competence, confidence, and compensation. I've carried that throughout my life. All I want to do is be a student and build more confidence so I can spill that over on more people. Today, our compensation is not money. It's not getting paid every night. It's not having a business that we own. It's not having millions of dollars and being financially free. Our compensation today is the success of others. It's what all these other people on here, the $1 million earners, the people you've heard speak today that are on their way to $1 million earning. Okay, they've passed the torch of now they know how to make this work. What they want to do is have this spill over. Our compensation today is building people, teaching people how to have their own hierarchy. And that's really what I'm talking to our team about right now. And then there was 3 A's: attitude, approach, and application. If I could work on my attitude every day, I was an introvert by nature. I was not Mr. Gregarious, okay? And I don't believe Dennis Viant was either. You know, Dennis, we won a trip to Hawaii one time, and Dennis and I spent a day and a half, and he was like, okay, Mayman, I've never done this. I'm going to choke you out if this doesn't work out. And we went out snorkeling, and we were out there all day. I remember coming back, and Lindley and Sean had been at the spa, and Sean was like, you were out in the water all day, Dennis. Are you kidding me? And here's the thing. What I learned is that if we can change our attitude, if Dennis could change his attitude about going out in the water like that, if I could change my attitude about the way I approach things, okay, and I could perfect a new approach and I could have a new application, then there was nothing I couldn't go do. I could become $1 million earner. I could save $1 million. I could get debt free. I could have my own life. I could have a business of businesses and be totally financially independent if I adopted an attitude, approach, and application, a spirit into my heart and transfer that to other people. So there was one focus we had. In the last 3 minutes I have with you, there was one focus we had, and that was to become a regional vice president. And one of Yaz's RVPs, who's no longer with us, and old Pod, right? He called me up when I got my RVP promotion, and he said something that changed my life. He said, most people work their ass off to get to regional vice president, but what they forget to do is go re-qualify for regional vice president when they become a regional vice president. And he said, listen, if you go re-qualified for becoming a regional vice president, you just became a branch manager for one of the largest financial institutions on planet Earth. Go re-qualify. I re-qualified 4 times. I did it 3 times in Minneapolis. I moved to Milwaukee. I did it 1 more time. All I did was re-qualify. I went and hired, trained, and developed direct managers to me, promoted people. And Lindley and I, that's all we focused on, was becoming a branch manager and building branch managers and re-qualifying for it. What does that mean? You got to become a great prospector. You got to become a great financial coach. You got to become a great field trainer. You got to become a great friend. You got to become a great influencer, and you got to become a great environment creator. But if I could master all those things, if I could just master those 6 things, becoming a prospector, become a financial coach, become a field trainer, become a friend, become an influencer, and create an environment, then I can do it. And I did not have the personality that everybody else had. I was not Mr. Dynamic. Okay. I wasn't the dude or the doodad that walked on, and Lindley was the homecoming queen. I was I was the goon on the football. I was Dennis Vine on the football. You needed somebody with 15-yard penalty. Let me at him. Okay. I'll hit him after the whistle blow. I don't care. Throw the flag, yell at me, scream at me. I'll go back and do it again. That was my personality. What I had to do is I had to change my approach. I had to learn to become positive, polite, honest, and poignant. Positive, polite, honest, and poignant. PPHP, positive, polite, honest, and poignant. And I had to master the ask. It was uncomfortable for me to ask people to quit their job, ask people to come to work with us, ask people to do business with us. But if you can do that, if you can master some of those things and just take it one day at a time, you can get great at this. See, here's the reality. I grew up rural Route 3, Waverly, Iowa. My parents were in debt their entire life. My mom paid her mortgage off about 3 years ago, about 3 years ago. It's financially independent. And she cried like a baby. She said, thank God for this company. I helped her buy her first house. I've been able to provide so much for Lindley's family and our family. It's been amazing. But really, that was just a byproduct of us becoming, at the core of core, incredible crusaders. I hate the competition. I haven't met a mortgage company, an insurance company, an investment company that won't churn you in 1 second for another commission check. And we have no interest in that. We have no interest in doing that. We teach people to do what's right with their money, and we duplicate our efforts by recruiting and developing branch managers that run their own branch. They get to become regional vice presidents and have their own business, own their own future. You show me another firm that does that. Edward Jones don't do that. Nobody does that. Smith Barney didn't do that. None of them. There ain't a bank doing that. What bank, insurance company, or investment company knocked on your door today and asked you? They said, hey, listen, could you come to training with us? We'll get you licensed. We'll teach you how to deliver our concepts to the consumer. And if you learn this business and become an executive that builds others, become a sales executive that can build others, we will let you have your own business, make millions of dollars, never limit your income, and live your life on your own terms. And I got to tell you, that's what Lindley and I have been able to do. And we love it more than ever before. This is an amazing firm. You have amazing opportunity. So please, Lindley and I wish you the best, and we want you to sell out. And if you're hurting, tie a knot in it. Tie a knot in the end of the rope, hang on, and get through today. One more day, one more appointment, one more promotion. That's all I wanted to give you today. Listen, it is my honor. And honestly, Dennis Viant and I showed up in Dennis's office, and we have more in common than anybody had ever met in business. And you know what? We owe so much to this man. It pushed us, believed in us, pushed us, believed in us, and as he does all the time. And I just can't express to you that how much we appreciate you, Dennis, and the Godfreys and everybody. But right now, Dennis, you're one tough SOB. We appreciate you like crazy. And it's my honor to introduce my coach, Dennis Vine.
Brian, thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing. Okay. And I'm so proud of you and the communication skills that you have and you continue to develop. And that's one of your many great, and we say gifts, because you've developed those gifts. Okay. And it's exciting to see, and the message that you just delivered. I'll tell you what, everybody, what an amazing time we've had these last couple hours. It's been second to none. Every summit that Randy's put together, it's continued, right? From one summit to the next summit to the next summit. It just continues to go and grow every single time. I just want to thank Randy and Marcy, the entire Gforce, right? And, Reggie and Neil and Victoria were on it. They shared from their heart. They shared the truth. Okay, Randy Norman, right? Sue, your growth is amazing. Angie, your enthusiasm and passion. And Bob, you told the truth of what it takes to win, right? Carlos, I always love to hear from you, right? And Brian, right, just taking your game to the next level. I can tell that you're ready to get after it and make great things happen. And anytime you've ever put your mind to that, great things have happened. Speaking about great things happening, teammates, I want to congratulate Senior Vice Presidents Mike and Sonia Gatto are the newest $500,000 earners in Primerica, right? $500,000 earners. So proud of you, Mike and Sonia. They were, Mike's former occupation was a forklift driver, and to be able to make $500,000 on your way to your million, right? Absolutely amazing. A special shout out to our Canadian teammates. This is the long weekend in Canada, and being a part of today, right? Putting yourself in position to change your family tree for generations. No doubt about it. And I just for a moment here, I want to talk to to Mark and Sandy, to the Yaz team, to the Fanatics. Look, we're right here on the 1 foot line, gang. Okay, right? Circle of Champions. Okay, that Circle of Champions ring that you see, Mark and Sandy, right, to represent the Fanatics. You're right there. $3 million more between now and May 28th in investments puts the Fanatic team over the top, representing the Circle of Champions. I know you're going to go get that done. It's all about getting it done, because when you look at it and you think about it, why did you get started in Primerica? Why did you get started in Primerica? And you're going to have people, they'll tell you so many different things. Why they got started for this, why they got started for that, all these different things, which is all true. Here's what it boils down to: a better life for you and your family. That's why you got started in Primerica. You wanted to have a better life for you and your family. Well, let me talk to you about this, okay? Because this is so darn exciting. There's only 2 things you must have to see all of your dreams come true. Only 2 things, okay, you must have for every single dream you've ever had in your life to come true. You hear what I'm saying? You only need to have 2 things that you must have to see every dream come true. And let me tell you what's so darn exciting. You're already doing one of them. You're already doing one of them. Let me tell you what it is. You must feel good about Primerica and the things we stand for. Feel good about Primerica and the things we stand for. Isn't that exciting? Because every single person on this summit feels good about Primerica and the things that we stand for. Okay, right. Isn't that so exciting? I know that you do. I know you feel good about it. I know you feel great about the things that we stand for. And you've heard the speakers share about that, okay, all day long about that part of things. So you've already got one. So guess what that means? You only need to get after what? One more thing. One more thing for every single dream that you've got to come true for you and your family. And it's so simple. It's so exciting. You must be able to get others, clients and recruits, to feel the same way that you do. Get other people to feel how you do about the Primerica opportunity. That's it. That's the ball game. Isn't that awesome? Every one of us can do that. And you felt that with all the speakers together. All the speakers today, excuse me, right? You felt that. You felt everybody sharing from their heart. Everybody sharing, but guess what's in common? Okay? They all feel great like you do. And the only other thing they've done more often is they've gotten other people to feel the same way they do. That's all you need to do to have every dream you've ever wanted come true. You see, our founder said, life will give you what you're willing to fight for. Life will also give you what you're willing to accept. Right? R. Williams said, what are you willing to fight for? And even as important as that is, what are you willing to accept? Is it unacceptable, okay, for you in your life, for where you're at? It's got to be unacceptable. Okay, right? Because guess what? You're fighting for your future. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, you need to begin it, because boldness has genius, power, and magic. Boldness, be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. It's time to step out in faith, okay? Right? And one of the big things that I love to talk about, excuse me, and anytime I've been fortunate enough to share on the summit, right? I've talked about Primerica's got promotions, and you want to get promotions in motion. Okay, absolutely. There's 4 milestones in business, and all you need to do is take care of these 4 milestones and teach others to do that, and you win. Number 1 is get started. Number 2 is become a field trainer. Number 3 is become an RVP. And number 4 is qualify for full ownership. So wherever you are in your journey, okay, right? If you haven't gotten started, let's get started. If you've gotten started, become a field trainer. If you're a field trainer, become an RVP. If you're an RVP, become a full owner. And if you're a full owner, guess what you do? You teach other people how to get started, how to become a field trainer, how to become an RVP, and how to help people qualify for full ownership. Where I sit right now in business, because I definitely haven't arrived, my big picture is to teach anybody that how to become a full owner. In order for them to become a full owner, they need to get started. They need to become a field trainer. They need to become an RVP and become a full owner. And I teach our full owners how to teach other full owners, I teach our full owners how to teach others to become full owners. When you look at that and you concentrate, and you heard Brian talk about that, you go get yours, right? You go get yours, right? That's what it's all about. And all we want to do is teach you and guide you. At the end of the day, you're going to put forth the effort and the energy. And you heard everybody today share about that. And that's what's so exciting. And it's very, very simple. Make sure that what I'm doing today is getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow. Am I on an appointment sharing the opportunity? Am I getting an appointment to share the opportunity? Am I on an appointment to share the opportunity? Am I getting an appointment to share the opportunity? Make sure that what I'm doing today is getting me closer to where I want to be tomorrow. Because understand, okay, and you heard Randy Norman talk about this earlier. What we are is God's, what we are is God's gift to us. What we become is our gift to God. So let's be, all right, what are we going to become? What we're looking for is for you to be your best you. You see, Martin Luther King said this: the time is always right to do what is right. The time is always right to do what is right. So let's go do what's right. Let's go get big. Let's go get busy. Randy and Marcy, thank you so much. I'll pass it back to you.
Everybody's hitting them on one.
I'm blown away. I mean, this is amazing. Can you believe? Hey, listen, especially all you new people, you understand that last segment? You got to listen to Carlos Gonzalez, Brian Mayman, and Dennis Viant. I've never heard Dennis so on.
No, I know.
I mean, I'm blown away. Listen, that just tells me that this team right here, I mean, we are ready to do something big. Yes, we've done big things in the past, but folks, it is time for us to take this thing to a whole new level. I'm just telling you, we have people now that are going to 100,000 and 300,000 and a million faster than I've ever seen in my 40, how many years we've been in here
41
now?
and a
41 and a half years. I've never seen anything like it, okay? I mean, we have a downline, I think he's 5th generation now, Carlos Leon. I mean, he made it to 1 million, I believe, in 36 months. Folks, I'm just telling you right now, especially you new people and our old people alike, if someone would have told me that years ago that would happen one day, I'd say absolutely not. I believe in this company. I believe in people doing big things. I see it over and over and over again. That would never happen. It's mathematically impossible. You don't have enough time in 36 months to make $1 million. You just don't. I understand the business. Well, now it happened. What was once impossible is now possible. And so all of us can do things now that we thought before was impossible. Now it's possible. What do you want, veterans? What do you want, new people? I mean, this is it for us. And so I beg you, you take all the teaching and training and points that you heard taught to you today. This is one of the greatest lineups we ever put together. I'm telling you right now. And they were on it from the beginning all the way to Dennis. And you hang in there, because I got Mark Yazapovic closing this baby out, okay? And before we do that, we're going to get down to the bottom line. We've recognized top 25 in recruiting, in premium, and in securities. And all of that is critical because it adds up to the bottom line, and that is cash flow. The bottom line to business is to make a profit. And to make a profit in Primerica is an amazing experience, okay? There's nothing like it. We teach people how to protect income. We teach people how to save and invest for income, right? Retirement. We teach people how to have extra income, create more of it for their family, and then we teach people how to own it. Folks, to own that income stream for generations and to generations. This is what it's all about. You just heard from the evidence. You just heard from what's going on. And now I'm going to give you some more evidence. Now we're going to tell you how, if you do what they told you to do, here's the bottom line for you and your family that gives you a shot at being financially free. Marcy, take it away. All of our future RVPs. Here we go.
Everybody loves to see the evidence, and you're going to get to hear it right now. So we've got the future RVP category, the top 25 cash flow earners. Number 25, Manuel and Stephanie Noel. Number 24, Mirza and Annalise Zukanovic. Number 23.
You did that good, honey.
Thank you, dear. Don't mess me up.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Number 23, Robert and Samantha Demaderos.
Did that good, too.
Thank you. Number 22, Joanna and Lizeth Gomez. Number 21, Fabian and Lisa Cornelius. Number 20, James and Sarah Hernandez. Number 19, Kyle and Stella Crowell. Number 18, Cecilia and Edward Arredondo. Number 17, David Coey. Number 16, Franklin McKnight. Number 15, Puspa and Scott Todd. Number 14, Bart and Aaron Vanucci. Number 13, Jared Rogan. Number 12, Dennis and Gail Grant. And number 11, Barbara and Charles Intamoa.
Woo! Marcy, that was awesome. Those names were, you cruised through that.
Yeah.
Hey, listen now. Hey, listen. Here's what you had to do. Break in the top 25. This is like part-timers. This is part-timers. You understand? This isn't our full-time RVPs. These are part-time people, extra income. To make it into the top 25, you had to make at least 14 grand over a 90-day period of time. Not bad part-time. To make it into the top 10, you had to basically make 20 grand. You had to make 20 grand to get in the top 10. You can do a lot. You can get free by investing the difference. All that money part-time. It's amazing. And here are our top 10 cash flow in below RVP. Number 10, Antonina and Moran Kim. Did I say that right?
I think you did good.
Okay, good.
I'll pat you on
Congratulations. Okay, let me know. You got to encourage me. Number 9 is Michael and Jackie Archimede. Number 8, Paul Heckman. Number 7, Andrea and Aaron Glazier. Number 6, you've been hearing from her all day. Fourth category is Marianne and Dave Dean. Number 5, Alan and Dawn Aykroyd. Number 4 is Dean Peruzzi and Kathy Tang. Number 3, Shelley and Trevor Fleury. Number 2 is Mike and Shell Davidson. And there's only Number one out of the Graham Bay shop. Listen to this. $36,000 in extra income over the last 90 days. Senior Regional Leader Graham and June Johnson. All right, Mars, we're in the big leagues now. These are our RVPs and up. Big time numbers.
Top 25. Starting with number 25, Luis and Alejandra Meir. Number 24, Angie and Henry Guerra. Got to hear from Angie earlier. Number 23, Reggie and Charity Reed. Number 22, Michael and Catherine Kofer. Number 21, Mike and Jolynn McCreesh. Number 20, Majid and Nada Dabla. Number 19, Reggie and Trish Patrick. Number 18, the great Sue and Jared Rogan. Number 17, Daryl and Laura Stephenson. Number 16, Mario and Taz Hinojosa. Number 15, Randy and Jan Norman. Number 14, Jaime Cantanilla. Number 13, Pete and Nellie Tiarina. Number 12, Guy and Carmen Fedora. And number 11, Johnny and Nicole Birchfield.
All right, all right. Yeah, I switched sides here.
Yeah, that's going to throw everybody off.
Do you like that? Do you like
They're
that?
all going to
okay,
think
good.
that
No
their
problem.
TVs turn
Okay,
around
listen.
backwards.
Hey, listen. To get in, if you're an RVP, to make it in the top 25 over the last 90 days, you had to make $77,000. Okay, just to get in the top 25. To get in the top 10, you had to make $112,000 just to get in the top 10. Cash flow, folks, in the bank. Okay, unbelievable. And here they are. Number 10, SVP, David and Vanessa Lipset. Number 9, NSD, Daryl and Tony Terry. Number 8, SVP, Roy and Janice Kern. Number 7, SVP, Hugo and Maria Sanchez. Number 6 is RVP, Michael and Marnie Langrell. So proud of y'all. Number 5, SNSD, Leviana Spillane. Number 4, SVP Mike and Sonia Gatto. You heard Dennis talk about them. Mike, I'm so proud of you going over $500,000. It takes a lot harder to get to, it's a lot harder to get to $500,000 than it is to go from $500,000 to $1 million, Mike. You go for it. Proud of y'all. Huge accomplishment. Proud of this next couple too. Last month just went over $700,000 in income. Number 3, SNSD, Kim and Rhonda Carver. Number 2, again, another closing in on 800 grand, going to $1 million. Number 2, National Sales Director, Bob and Rhonda Graham. And folks, to get number 1, you had to make $252,000. That's over $250,000 in 90 days. That's why he's on track to go over $1 million. There is only
number one.
The great Carlos Gonzalez and Kayla Gonzalez. Woo! All right, now I want everybody to listen to me right now, okay? Especially the Yaz fanatics. You heard Dennis talk about this. I just found out about it yesterday too. The highest honor in all of Primerica is to be inducted into the Circle of Champions, okay? You saw Dennis's ring. You might have seen Neil Gurfein flash it a little bit. So we're all a part of the Circle of Champions. But Gforce wants another one. We want another team to get inducted. They're $3 million away in securities production. Let me just tell you something about that, okay? You can do it, okay? Securities is a transaction, man. You go talk to your rich uncles. You go talk to whoever, right? And you get after it. And you can, it's a transaction business, right? It's not max app and all that kind of stuff, man. I mean, you put 500,000 in, it counts. You guys can do it. You gals can do it. Just let me tell you something. Would you agree? Gforce. We created Gforce when we decided to make a run for the Circle of Champions. And what it did, it changed everybody that's on our team.
That's right.
Not just us. You see, because it's a team effort. When Carlos says that a rising tide floats all the boats, folks, everyone on the Yaz team, okay, you're one of those boats. You're one of those leaders. You're one of those businesses. And when all the team comes together for one common goal, everybody gets better. Everybody makes more money. And we've learned how to take it to another level. We're not ever going back. This is your shot. You can do this. All of Gforce, we're rooting you on. Between now and the end of May, we're counting on another Circle of Champions. And when we gather together in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we're come together with 3 Circle of Champions hierarchies, and we're going to come in one section there, and we're going to blow everybody's mind in Primerica. I'll promise you that, okay? So, man, without further ado, I couldn't pick another person. I did this before he told me that he was that close, okay? But I wanted him to close us out, and he's closing us out right now. One of my favorite people of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Mark and Sandy. They have just
most positive people in the
unbelievable
world.
what they brought to our hierarchy, to Dennis's hierarchy, to all of Primerica. You're going to listen to one of the greats right now with 40 RVPs, 1.3 million, on his way to 14 diamonds, and going for the Circle of Champions. Company MVP over and over and over again. I love you, Mark. You take us home, brother. It's all yours.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Marcy. Appreciate you guys, man. I'll tell you what, Randy, thank you, and Marcy, so much to all your staff, too, that put on these events. They're absolutely incredible. I want to take a quick second and recognize and congratulate all the people that got recognized today. I was blown away at how many folks from our hierarchy showed up in all the different recognitions. Sandy and I are so proud of all you guys. And great job to all the speakers. This day has been off the hook. They just keep getting better and better. And special congratulations to our RVPs and above Sue Rogan and Bob Graham, who got the honor to speak today and lit it up. I want to mirror echo what Dennis said too. Special congrats to Mike and Sonia Gatto going over $500,000. That's a big deal. Mike and Sonia, you've always been very special to all of us on the team of destiny. It's great to see that happen for you guys. Hey, I want to also recognize and congratulate our 3 newest RVPs. You guys saw us have them up live when we did this last event, but there they are. They got the job done. They went out in great form, great fashion, and they're doing great things now as new RVPs. We're just so proud of Barbara and Charles Antiomoa, Kyle and Stella Crowell, and Jimmy Sarah Hernandez. They're all going to do great things here. So way to go, guys. You really inspired a lot of people, and we're proud of you, and we're just excited for your futures. I want to talk about this Circle of Champions thing and tie my talk into it because I think it's very relevant. Circle of Champions on the security side for our team. Who would have thought when all we talk about is recruiting, field training, and developing leaders, which in our mind, leaders are field trainers and RVPs. But there's a message there for everybody, okay? When you keep the main thing, then everything else takes care of itself. Well, what's the main thing? Well, we all grew up listening to Randy Godfrey talk about that many times in the early days, where the main thing is recruiting and expansion, and that people having a knowing that people are looking for more. And so, folks, when you do appointments, okay, with a recruiting focus, okay, which means you're covering company, concept, compensation, which is our opportunity, then that leads to a client and a possible recruit, because we don't recruit everybody that we do a presentation on. And if your life and securities licensed, and if you are selling a plan, then you're going to develop a client with a life sale and a securities attached to it. And you're going to keep bumping along, doing your presentations, selling this business opportunity to everybody you're sitting in front of. Boom, and then you get a recruit, and then boom, you get a recruit. But all along the way, you're developing clients. And then the securities transaction just come as a byproduct of you looking for leaders. It's not a focus that we ever had. So let's talk about the plan real quick that I just talked about. If you're mutual fund license if you're life license and securities license and you're selling a plan, you'll have great success long-term. Well, what's a plan? Well, if you only are getting a $200 commitment at the kitchen table, if that's all it is, and you're in this family situation, the budget is tight, and you're only getting a $200 commitment, hopefully you're getting more than that, but if all you get is $200 and the life coverage is $80 a month, well, that leaves $120 to put into a mutual fund. And that's all we ever did. And in this day and age, an $80 a month sale is $1,000 premium. You're attaching a security sale to that. You're plugging along the way. And then before you know it, you've got a hierarchy of leaders and you've got this production happening. So what has happened to us following that simple plan over the years? Year to date, this team of ours has invested $50 million in the last 4.5 months. That's an average of 11 million a month. I didn't know that. I got a call from head office on Friday and said, you guys got a shot at this at the end of the month. I go, huh, what? Because I hadn't been tracking. We just been focused on building the base shop, developing RVPs and all that stuff. And you know what's shocking to me, you guys? Listen to this. I remember like it was yesterday, shaking like a leaf, getting my first investment check into the McKenzie Industrial Growth Fund, which was front end loaded. And it was for $50, a PAC. I started my first investment, a $50 PAC that I attached to a life sale. And I was shaking like a leaf, hoping I didn't blow it. Hope I didn't put that money into a dark hole for that client who took everything from the cough of $50. And now we're talking about our businesses invested $50 million so far since January. That's kind of insane, isn't it? So I want to take another quick second. I want to thank all of our teammates that have been responsible for this. And here, I'll just show you real quick as I was putting these numbers together this morning. And there they are. This is the group that's been responsible for this, even a chance at Circle of Champions happening. I want to, this is a May through June contest. Those are our top 20. These are base shops that have invested over $750,000 since January. Those names right there make up for 46 million of the 50 million, which is 92% of the number, but everyone in our hierarchy has contributed. We've got lots of RVPs that have done $500,000 and 400,000 year to date. And all those matter, especially right now with us being so close. I think that $50 PAC matters again. So we got to throw it all in there. But hey, check out the Asbay shop, right? At 2 million this year so far. There's another learning lesson. You can do both. You can develop RVPs and you can have a good securities business, folks. That's what we were taught by Dennis and Sean and by Randy Marcy and all the great leaders on this team, is you can do both. So I'm very proud of our base shop for developing 3 great RVPs, but also being very strong on the security side. Congratulations to the Graham base shop for leading the charge, over 6 million so far this year. Very, very proud of you guys. So there's another message here, okay? When you take a look at those names, this is where building a team comes in, okay? There are 6 first-generation RVPs on that slide of the top 20. There are 12 second generations, and there's 1/3. Where did those RVPs come from? Well, having a focus of recruiting and field training and developing leaders, like you've heard about all day, okay? And what drove that? What drove having a focus of recruiting, field training, developing leaders? Well, doing appointments with a recruiting focus, company, concept, compensation. Do you see how simple this is? This just takes work. We're in a system that's unbelievable. And so when you're on a kitchen table appointment, which we call a BOP, a business opportunity proposal, and you're covering company concept and compensation, which is our opportunity, because you can't be on a business opportunity proposal without talking about the business, right? Then you're going to have this happen to you as you stay the course. And you don't do just 1 appointment a week. You fight to get on 3 appointments a day right now. And so, you know, the guys, we're in a system that's going to produce greatness out of you doing the simple basic blocks with more and more enthusiasm each time you're doing. And that's key, because after you do 100, you can wane on your enthusiasm, but you can't do it. Does Bon Jovi wane on his enthusiasm singing Wanted Dead or Alive after he sang it 300 times in 1 year doing concerts? Do you think that if they did, the audience would skin them alive? Do you think that's exciting for them, singing that same song 40 years later? No, it's not, but that's what pros do. They're fired up and passionate each time they give it, because you never know when you're gonna have the next $1 million earner sitting in front of you. And so where are we going as a team? I just wanted to share this with the group. Last slide I got for you. I don't have many slides today. Is to just make sure everybody's aware of this 2.8 million that's left to close between now and May 28th. Here's the folks that have this booked to close between now and the 28th. That's a total of 5.7 million. So we only need 2.8. We've definitely got a shot. Now, a bunch of these are bank transfers that could take 2 months. Man, that's not gonna cut it. But I think we got enough. Sue Rogan's 2.3 million, 2.2 of it is a death claim, sadly, that's being invested for that client. And so that might be a real benefit there, in addition to making sure that client's taken care of. Folks, isn't it amazing what we do? How we have a business at the end of the day, when you're winning and you're focusing on promotions and cash flow, at the end of the day, it's changed lives. It's families that are getting financially independent. It's people that are protected in the case of a tragedy and the financial plan doesn't fall apart. That's the greatest thing in the world, that we have all those things tied together, that you can win and do good things for people at the same time. So very proud of everybody that's on this list. I'm sure that this list is not completed, but this is what we've got in the next 7 days. So all hands on deck. Let's go have some fun with it, and let's go see how that all shakes out. I want to leave you with this, and I think it's important. Your ability to be a change agent, I think, is key to all this. And you and I have to understand that little old us, how we feel right now. And that's why I say this. I never felt like anything special. I never felt like I could be that change agent, but it came to a point where I had to understand that what I said did matter. How I acted did matter. If I had enthusiasm or not, it did matter, okay? Even when I was going through my toughest times in the business. And your ability to be a change agent, to be that person that rises up above circumstances and keeps the message positive, is paramount. I believe that with everything in me, especially today when there's not too much good being talked about out there. Sure as heck isn't being talked about, like, at all, except from us, right? So right now in our hierarchy, as of this month of May, the #1 base shop in recruiting and premium is the Roy and Jan Kern Base Shop. Now I know that might shock some of our RVPs out there, because Roy and Jan have always been strong securities producers, right? But they know recruits and premium. They wouldn't be senior vice presidents with RVPs that all make over 200 grand a year, those 3 RVPs, unless they did do that. But folks, they're back at it again. And they live in the most challenging place for COVID lockdowns right now in North America, and that place is the province of Ontario, Canada. Here's what they're dealing with over there. They're dealing with stay-at-home orders, where cops pull you over and ask what you're doing on the road, okay? If you're on the streets. Parks are closed, restaurants are closed, churches are closed. You can't golf, and it's summertime now starting in Canada. There's white, yellow police tape around the golf course's entrance. You can't get in. Parks have the yellow tape, okay? Roy just bought a $100,000 boat, spent the last 20 years busting his tail, 25 years working hard in the business, rewards himself with a boat, gets a new condo on the marina, and he can't put the boat in the water because the marina's closed. They got yellow tape up there too. How about that for being a little bit depressing after you busted your tail and finally want to reward yourself, right? And if you're Canadian, you just got through winter and the nice weather is finally here, and you got to deal with staying in your house. Boy, that's like wrist slitting time for Canadians, right? I mean, it's like causing you to drink more whiskey and beer. And so this is a tough thing for folks that are just breaking out of the winter stage and want to go outside and all that stuff. So I talked to Roy this morning and I said to him, hey man, what's the deal? I mean, seriously, you're double-digit recruiting right now. You're going to finish with probably 20 recruits. And that's something you ain't done in a while since you were promoting those RVPs. And he said a few things for me. I'll leave you with this. He doesn't talk about what's going on out there. He doesn't talk about the COVID, the lockdowns, and all the depression. If people start talking about it, he changes the subject to something positive, something he can control. He talks about how the company is up. Okay, they talk about him and Jan, how they're up, how the team is up, how they're moving in a great direction, how they're going to do something special. They operate from the knowing that people want hope. People want an escape. People want to do something different. They're looking for a leader. They're looking for a rope to pull them out of the ditch. And they also operate from the standpoint that what the government does or doesn't do doesn't matter to them. And it doesn't matter to their team. And some days, he told me this morning, he wakes up a little bit mad, a little bit ticked off because Roy loves to golf. Roy loves to fish. He wants to get out in the summer weather. And they'd be told they can't. But he only works on controlling what he can't control, what he can control. And what he can control is their mind and their thoughts, their actions, and their environment. And Roy and Jan, I'm very proud of you guys. You're creating a great job, being #1 in our hierarchy right now in recruits and premium, you know, showing everybody again how you can reinvent yourself for being a fantastic securities producer and builder of RVPs, going back to that again. Very, very proud of your team. Guys and gals, listen, people are looking for hope now more than ever, okay? They're looking for you. They're looking for you, not your upline, not your office, okay, whatever, your field trainer. They're looking for you. Every time you're on the phone, every time you're on Zoom, every time you're saying something to somebody, understand when you show up as that change agent, you can be the difference maker. You are the difference maker. I want to challenge everybody to blitz their activity like never before. Make calls today, right after this, like Angie did a great job challenging you to do. You're fired up right now. Make the calls. Make more than you've ever made. Book more appointments than you've ever booked. And don't wait for someone else to do it for you. You do it for you. Do it today and tomorrow and every day until you win, folks. And you will see great things happen. As long as you make the time to win here and you clear out the clutter. I see too many people that are part-time, have 8 billion things going on. You got your faith and family, you got your job, and you got your Primerica as a second career. If you're part-time, second career, those are the 3 things you are doing. Everything else is clutter, okay? Family and faith, job, which is your full-time job, and then your second career, Primerica. That's it. You want to be successful in Primerica to get yourself a start as a second career part-time person, do that. And then if you're full-time, be full-time. Folks, I see so many full-timers that say they're full-time, but they're not even doing spare time activity because you got too much clutter. And by the way, for you second career folks, when's your full-time date? You know, you could make that in 90 days. You won't be successful, big successful as a part-timer. Know that. That's not a shot. That's a reality. So when's your full-time date? And you full-timers, you should have family, faith, and Primerica, and the rest is clutter. Okay, all this other stuff you're doing, whether it's coaching, involved in all these other activities, which are important, helping other human beings, will you get free first and then go help the rest of the world? Will you start winning first and then go help the rest of the world? That's what we all did. Let's go be the best examples we can be, whether we're second career or full-time, and let's go show them more great examples that people like us can do great things and inspire others and have a lot of hope. Proud to be your teammate, Randy. I'll turn it back to you to close it up, buddy. Thanks for your leadership.
Yes, man! Yes, man! This is it, man! This is the ring, baby!
Got to get that for you, the Yaz team. You want your leaders to be wearing that, and you want to be a part of the Circle of Champions team. Boy, you know, when we started this not quite 2.5 years ago, we've always been so proud of our great leaders and our great teammates, and just have always been so proud to be your leaders, and it has just made our hearts proud seeing how y'all have responded over these last 2.5 years. But I'm telling you, today, y'all all got to experience something that's rare in terms of a business environment or any kind of environment, the positivity. And we are so blessed to have such amazing people who are your leaders, who are our teammates. And we are proud. We love Gforce. We love all of our downline $1 million earners, and just the fact that we're all integrated and working just to get freedom for millions and millions of Americans and Canadians. It just makes us so proud to see the kind of leadership we have, and love y'all. And you have all just done awesome today. And all of y'all who've sat there for almost 3.5 hours, you have proven that you're going to do it too. We love you.
210 minutes flew by.
Sure
flew
did.
by.
And it's actually not quite 210.
I know.
We
You
did
did good too, honey.
Thank you.
You did good. You're supposed to kiss me on the
Oh,
lips.
okay.
We've been married for a while. Okay, anyway. So, anyway, I like to embarrass her. I'm sorry. So, listen to me. Your moment, hopefully, was in these last 210 minutes. Your moment, something was said, something was felt in you. I want you to remember how you feel right now, because the next time we get together, I want you to have a crew of people with you. This is our largest turnout to date, and we're going to prove it to you right now. Marcy, it's time for us to recognize who was the top base shop in attendance. Can you do it, girl?
Heavy.
Can you do it?
It's heavy for this old back.
Here we go. Where's my list? I had it somewhere. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna start. These are our top 5, okay? And then comes number 1. Folks, listen, real quick. We talk about leverage. Leverage is using something to your advantage. The people that got a ton of people on this webinar today, they used our summit. They used our virtual summit for what? leverage. They knew that this experience could give them something that they could not get on their own. So these are the people who understand leverage. You use leverage in Primerica, great things happen, mainly freedom. So listen, here's the top 5 in attendance. Number 5, the Guerra Bay shop with 41 people registered. Number 4, the Tiarina Bay shop with 42. Number 3, the Arana Bay shop with,
You're all close.
I know, with 47. Man, this is close. Hey, number 2 was last time winners, the Vols. They had 58. Hey, folks, listen to this. I'm proud of y'all, but listen to this. Number 1, with 106 people registered, our next $1 million earner, Carlos Gonzalez.
Way to go, Tornadoes.
So folks, Darlene, put that on there right now. Here's our next gathering. We've checked it off with all of our $1 million earners. They said it's the date to do it too. So we're coming back together. September 25th, we're gonna have our next leadership summit, virtual summit. And I want it to be bigger and even better than this. Can you believe it? This is off the charts, okay? But it's gonna be September 25th. Listen to me now, you competitors. That means we're gonna have 4 months of, not 3 months, 4 months of competition. So that means we're gonna compete right now. May starts now. May, June, July, and August. May, June, July, and August. And that'll help put together, get it all at the last minute. So we put out the who our top 25 are on the 25th. I will announce to you soon who our guest speakers are going to be. But folks, in my mind, nothing could have topped today. I thank all of our speakers so much. I mean, nobody could put together a group of speakers like this. I've seen other hierarchy events done on Zoom and all that kind of stuff, and they're great. But folks, I'm telling you, you put it all to shame. There's never a better team assembled than Gforce. Thank you so much. So the only thing I can lead you is this, is what I left you the last time too. And that is my favorite verse that applies to this business. And here it is. It says, do not grow weary in what? In doing good. For at the proper time, and hopefully today is your proper time, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we, what, Marcy? Do not give up. God bless you, Gforce. Finish May strong. Go Yaz team, Circle of Champions. We love you.
Love you,
Go to work.
Gforce.
Everybody big has gone through what you're going to go through. There's no sidetrack, shortcuts. There's no shortcuts to the top.
I really believe the dream rests in one word only, and it's freedom.